commercial service, maintenance and installation, and heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. AirComfortService.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Happy Tuesday. It is the day that we're going to talk a little bit about the SAVE Act. You know what the SAVE Act is, Ryan Wiggins?
This is a congressional act that involves voting.
Proof of citizenship.
Proof of citizenship, yes.
Do you want, this is our poll for today, should the Senate pass the SAVE Act? The House has passed it.
Right.
The Senate hasn't, which would require proof of citizenship to vote in all federal elections. Now, you remember a few years ago when New York City was like, maybe everybody who's here should vote.
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, that's it. So they passed it. And then all of a sudden it was like, didn't that go to the, I don't even think it made it to the Supreme Court.
I think it was just the New York court.
The New York court shot it down in some capacity. But this is something that has been tried before. So we're asking you, do you want to see the Senate pass the SAVE Act? I imagine Donald Trump would sign that. He'd burst through walls to sign that measure. And knowing that it has happened already, passed already in the House, it makes me a little frustrated that the Senate hasn't gotten to it. What Republicans are not going to vote for it. And I'd like to know the senators that aren't. I bet you Fetterman would vote for it. Is there a Republican that wouldn't support it?
Ooh, Susan Collins might going into an election. She might back out of it. But I don't know why she would. She just would be posturing.
I actually wondered today if there is a timing reason that it hasn't happened yet. If you passed the SAVE Act, Illinois has like a 40-day window of voting. If you pass the SAVE Act with the right amount of timing, would it not be? I mean, I'd assume they'd put an immediate injunction on it if they filed a lawsuit in a jurisdiction, district, or whatever that was favorable, which they're pretty good at finding those. That the injunction would be implemented and then it would be off the table for that election. Like I'm trying to think of what's the holdup. Maybe you can't get past the filibuster. Okay. But this is an issue when I'm thinking about filibuster squashing measures that I think would be worth doing that for. This is maybe at the top of the list because I think fair elections, that's the way we get our country back altogether. Here's Scott Pressler talking about it.
Hey everybody, this is Scott Pressler. I am here outside of Senate Majority Leader Thune's office, and I'm here to deliver a message for you, the American people. I know that besides securing the border, besides getting an economy that works for working class America, you want safe and secure, fair and free elections. And I want you to know that I'm out here fighting for you every single day. And we are going to ask our Senate leadership to please make it a priority to pass the SAVE Act. I think it's a very low bar that we have proof of citizenship in order to register to vote in America. The midterm elections are upcoming, and the American people want to see the SAVE Act pass. So just know, I'm out here fighting for you guys every single day.
Scott Pressler in the Senate building there with the offices talking about why this is important. You know, in Minnesota that someone can come vouch for people to vote. So this is along with the fraud that was being revealed over the last 3 weeks or so. Some of the voting, these are things that people there have known. I look at Minnesota and I feel a kinship with Republicans in Minnesota that have to feel like they've been screaming into the void for a long time. Imagine if somebody decided to come to Illinois and unearth the corruption that has really, in a political way, been born out of the land of Lincoln into our election system, into the processes that take place to get people on ballots, to keep people off ballots, to cure votes, to harvest votes, all of that. Illinois has been a bellwether for a lot of that. And folks like you, folks like me, have been watching this happen over and over and over again for years and years. And you just look around and you're like, am I the only one who sees what's going on here? Why is this okay? So you shake fists at the sky every 2 years. An election comes around. Every 4 years, the big election comes around for the statewide, which is this one, Illinois, in 2026. We get to elect our statewide offices again. And you just think, gosh, why don't we deserve it? Why don't we in the state of Illinois deserve common sense government? Why don't we have the opportunity to compete in a fair fight? Isn't that what you want? Just the opportunity to put the effort in, to drum up the grassroots support, and know that at least the effort is worth the competition. Because I don't feel like a lot of people in the state of Illinois feel like that anymore. They're the same people all the time. I know I've met some of the kindest, greatest, most genuine people going to speak at Lincoln Day dinners, Reagan dinners, county meetings, candidate celebrations when everybody is officially filed and right after the primary is over, golf scrambles, auctions. I've done all these different things, and I've seen a lot of you folks at these events, but it's generally speaking the same crowd. Because most of us, and maybe you, are so sick and tired of a broken, corrupt system that you think, what the heck's the point? The converse of that in the state of Missouri is a supermajority of Republicans and a Republican in every elected position statewide, and you still look at them and go, why can't you get this done? Like how? So I don't know that there's a magic equation of this many Republicans, this percentage of Republican leadership, because everybody is always going to have their problems. Everybody has interests. Everybody has, personal opinions. Different districts look different when they are red. Just because you're red doesn't mean you look the same. That's really what the America First MAGA movement has benefited the political landscape, in my opinion, in the greatest possible way. Is it really gave us, from red district to red district, something to say, yes, that's what we want. Is that America First? That's America First. Let's do it. And everything else that could fit under the conservative umbrella for me that might not fit under the conservative umbrella for you can still exist. It's just not going to be the thing that takes you across the finish line. And in some cases, it keeps you from the finish line. So people have been willing to say, no, America first. And that's been Donald Trump's message. As an Illinois resident, I see the common sense existing everywhere. The biggest enemy outside of the corruption that exists in this state is apathy, because people are like, fool me once, fool me 8,000 times. Forget it. I'm gonna put my head down. I'm gonna pay my taxes until I'm broke as a joke or till I can get out of here. So when I look at Minnesota and I see the fraud that's existing in Minnesota, and I see the way that they've chosen their elected officials, are the people of Minnesota, I'm not talking now, are the Somalis the people of Minnesota? In some regards they are, but they've definitely immigrated into there. They have not assimilated into there. Let's talk about the rest of the people in Minnesota. Is Tim Walz the reflection of them? Is Tim Walz really the representation of those Minnesotans that, it's a Midwestern life? Do people, I'm going to go to the Minnesotan expert in the room, Ethan. Do Minnesotans consider themselves Midwest?
Yes, they do.
I thought so. It's weird to me that they would claim to be Midwest and not Northern.
Does it matter if you're rural Minnesota versus Minneapolis?
I bet that would probably be the line.
What do you mean? In St. Louis, if you're big city St. Louis, you're still Midwestern.
Yeah,
but here's what I mean. Anything north of Minneapolis and St. Paul, I imagine people probably say we identify as the North.
Do you think that they'd be offended to be called Midwestern?
No. They're Minnesota nice.
What's the most offensive thing about being called Midwestern?
It's a little bit of a head pat. If you're
from the person
from the
getting
coastals,
you're like, oh, you're so cute.
You're going,
you guys are
Midwestern.
Simple life over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which we are really okay with, but it's the attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think to myself, there have got to be quite a few people in Minnesota, enough people. Illinois voted, I think it's 44% for Donald Trump. You would not think that Illinois is a 44% Trump state. A few more statistics. About 66% of the population of the state of Illinois, Cook County. 2/3 of the population of the state of Illinois is in Cook County. That's why it's a really big deal. The biggest Republican county party, Cook County, because there are so many people there. The people you know who didn't vote for Donald Trump, they still hate J.B. Pritzker. There's still a huge opportunity here for Republicans in the state of Illinois. But you know that when it gets close to the finish line, you just have that gut feeling. You're like, no way in heck I'm going to get that's what a Midwesterner would say. No way in heck that I'm going to get my hopes up for something reasonable and commonly sensible to happen here, because we know how the story is going to go. Is that what Minnesota feels like?
I don't know. That's a good question, because Minnesota's closer to flipping than we are. But Minnesota has never crossed that Rubicon.
I don't think it has. This is the disgusting part of it. And I say this as an Illinoisan, and maybe the Minnesotans agree as well. I don't think it has anything to do with how people in the state think. I think it has everything to do with how much the Democrat Party has corrupted the government.
Wow.
How much do you have a total, choke grip on the system that you can manipulate it in any way you possibly can? Because if you have a grip on the system, it doesn't matter what the people think. Think about this in your life right now. And, we're Illinoisans. We have a lot of Republicans in our life. And I wouldn't even go as far to say Republicans, conservative-minded people who may not even feel comfortable jumping into a political box. But they will say, yeah, I'm conservative-minded. How many people in your life love J.B. Pritzker?
Well, I don't know of any. I don't know. This isn't your question, but I don't know of any liberals that do either.
That is my question.
Okay.
That's my point. How does somebody who is that powerful, that confident, I mean, it's true. In the last governor election, one of Darren Bailey's biggest donors was J.B. Pritzker, because J.B. Pritzker wanted to run against Darren Bailey. That's the type of money, that's the type of playing field they're on. Now, would Darren Bailey represent us a heck of a lot better than J.B. Pritzker every day of the week? But if the Democrats in the state parties have such a strong grip on how the system functions, the fact that in Minnesota, you can vouch for people and say, no, they're good, they can vote, and then they get to vote. That's outrageous. We need the SAVE Act, and we need it now. Somebody called Dick Durbin and changed his mind. We'll talk to Gregg Jarrett about the legality of the Maduro arrest next. Point Pest Control. It's Point with an E. PointPestControl.com. If you have remnants of pests, isn't that disgusting? Ugh. It's the worst when all of a sudden you move the box. You're in your basement. You're organizing right now, right? Everybody's organizing. You know how I like to organize? With a trash bag. Get rid of it all. If you are organizing in your basement and you move the box and the critter crawls out of it, and by critter I pretty much mean spider. Maybe it's, I don't know, a mouse. What else could you have in your basement? Roaches, maybe? You could have ants, but ants.
Of wild dogs.
Dogs.
Raccoons.
I don't know the limitations of Point Pest Control, but I know that I have not tested them yet. You want to make sure that you have somebody who comes in and takes care of the problem right away, especially if it's wild dogs. You need that problem solved. They leave messes everywhere.
Yeah.
636-798-0023. I don't know if they can handle dogs, but if you have a pest problem, you've got a Point Pest Control solution at the other end of this phone call. Mention my name and save an extra 10% on the best deal they have going. 636-798-0023. Point with an E. PointPestControl.com.
We all have different ideas of the perfect retirement, but they all depend on the same thing: not running out of money. And preparing for retirement can sometimes be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Find out how to build your retirement on your terms.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
Join host Steve All for the All Financial Hour, Saturday mornings at 6 or Saturday afternoon at 4, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Because we've been in jail for so many years. We've been in this country, my country in Venezuela, can you imagine, is no food, he control everything. We be controlled by these people, not only him, Diosdado Cabello, and everybody is around him. We cry because now somebody do something. This president is the first president. They do something. We don't know what is going to happen. But at least this is the first step. It's hope for every Venezuelan.
That's a local Venezuelan on ABC7 reacting to the capture of Maduro. Of course, there's a lot of reactions across the world. You see a lot of people who understand what it's like in Venezuela, very celebratory over what she just declared there as hope. But then, of course, here, maybe a few places around the world, people are questioning the legality of the Trump administration's actions. So we go to our expert friend, Gregg Jarrett, Fox News legal analyst, former defense attorney and law professor as well. Gregg, welcome back to the show. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, Annie. Good to be with you.
Thank you. It's great to have you. So, the main question a lot of Democrats are throwing out, maybe even some people in Congress are saying that this is not an appropriate act of the executive powers by President Trump and his administration. What do you say about that?
Well, they're wrong. Those, and they are principally Democrats, who say, oh, this is illegal. It's constitutional. It's a violation of international law. And, Trump needed to get permission first from Congress. All of those statements are fundamentally wrong and, ignorant about the law. Maduro was a drug lord, head of a violent cartel, smuggled narcotics into the United States. He's responsible for narco-terrorism that involved murders and torture of women and children. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's a pretty scary superseding indictment if you bother to read it, and people should. Look, the truth is that the Constitution vests commander-in-chief power in the President of the United States. He can take military action without congressional consent. And in fact, in modern history, every president since World War II has ordered military action in other countries. And the Constitution says that short of declaring war, presidents don't need approval from Congress. Article 2, Section 2. They have inherent power to direct military strikes unilaterally. But that's not all. The next section of Article 2, Section 3, says the president has a duty under the Take Care Clause of the Constitution that all laws be faithfully executed. What does that mean? It means investigate crimes. And, if people have been criminally charged with an indictment, they must be arrested and prosecuted, and if convicted, sentenced. And just because you happen to be someone outside of the boundaries of the United States doesn't insulate you from the long arm of American law.
We're speaking with Gregg Jarrett, Fox News legal analyst, with us right now. You said that the president is able to act unilaterally. I hear a lot of folks in Congress, and enough, saying that they weren't informed of this. Would the the requirement to inform the people of Congress, does that hinder his ability to act unilaterally?
No, it doesn't. And, I've heard people like Schumer say, well, he violated the War Powers Act. That was a resolution in 1973 when Congress was miffed that Nixon bombed Cambodia without telling them. So they passed the War Powers Act. But that's not a prohibition on a president acting unilaterally. It's a reporting requirement. The president has to notify Congress within 48 hours of taking military action. And that obviously implicitly consents to presidential action unilaterally. After the fact, he can tell Congress. And then the resolution goes on to say, well, if Congress doesn't agree, within 60 or 90 days, you have to, remove troops. Well, I hadn't gotten to that point yet. And a lot of legal scholars say, wait a minute, that violates the Constitution. The War Powers Act is unconstitutional. And past presidents like Barack Obama have simply ignored it on the grounds that it was unconstitutional.
So when Maduro was charged, President Trump is the one who pulled the trigger to go arrest him in his country, in Venezuela. But there had to be some actions taken before he would legally be able to do that, as I understand it. Is this a partisan Trump Republican-led effort to place the charges so that he could go get Maduro?
No, it is true that the first indictment against Maduro occurred during the first Trump administration, although the investigation of Maduro began, before that, during the Obama administration. And then when Joe Biden was president, he upped the ante and leveled a $25 million bounty for the arrest of Maduro. And Biden had criticized Trump for not taking action to remove Maduro, although Biden, once elected, didn't lift a finger except issue the bounty. Look, you had Chuck Schumer standing on the floor of the United States Senate during Trump's first term, excoriating Trump for not removing Maduro. So when in the second term Trump abides and does exactly that, Schumer immediately denounces and condemns Trump for doing what Schumer had demanded he do. I mean, you can't make this kind of hypocrisy up.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And you've written the books on TDS, really the main causes. I would say the roots of TDS come through a lot of the lies and deceptions that have been told consistently about Donald Trump. And Gregg Jarrett, you've written so many books that have outlined in detail the manifestation of they're weird fantasies that come out of the left, and they're using this to try to limit the power of Donald Trump. And then Donald Trump, of course, wins once again. He's following through on the actions that in the Joe Biden administration, they also said that Maduro, bad guy, got to get him. I hear some phrases being thrown around. I hear military action being one of them, but also I think it was Pam Bondi who said, and not a direct quote, but probably close, this was an act of law enforcement. Does that?
Right.
Can you explain what Pam? I know Pam Bondi knows exactly what she's saying. Can you explain to me what she means when she is highlighting law enforcement?
Look, it's both. The military assisted the enforcement of a set of charges in an indictment in American courts by effectuating the arrest of the wanted fugitive, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife. So, both can be true at the same time. It's very similar to what happened with Manuel Noriega, who was nabbed by the first President Bush in Panama. He was, again, same as Maduro, the illegitimate leader there, the de facto head of state, and he was also a narco-terrorist who had looted the government. I mean, same set of circumstances. And, the defense for Noriega, went in front of a federal judge, and they made all kinds of arguments For example, that the U.S. has no jurisdiction to prosecute him, head of state immunity. They challenged the arrest, claiming a violation of due process and international law. And in the end, none of it worked because none of it applies. You know, when you're an illegitimate leader, not recognized by the United States, you're not a head of state. And there's no immunity. And, you know, you can't claim, well, I was engaging in official acts, because narco-terrorism is not an official act. Drug trafficking into the United States is not an official act. So, you know, Maduro will try the same legal tactics that Noriega tried, and it's just not going to work.
Gregg Jarrett speaking with us, Fox News legal analyst, author, and former defense attorney and law professor. One question that I'd like to ask you is a little bit of a shift from what we've been talking about here with the Maduro arrest. But today is January 6th. And as somebody who has studied a lot of the hoaxes that have been thrown against Donald Trump, the massive undertaking of effort to try to keep him from being able to, of course, win re-election the first time and then keep him the second time as well, which they were a failure at. I'm wondering, in 2026 now, Gregg Jarrett, what's your reflection of January 6th and how you anticipate it will be remembered in history?
Well, look, it was a terrible event in American history, and I wrote about that immediately after it occurred. And I thought that Trump's role in it was unwise and wrong. But the accusations leveled against him were overwrought. For example, claiming that he incited violence. Well, in the end, he was never charged with that by Jack Smith. Insurrection, he wasn't charged of that by Jack Smith. Instead, Smith cobbled together a phony case of, defrauding the government. And in the end, it didn't work, and the case was dismissed. It's a sad and ugly chapter in American history. The people who violated the law deserve to be prosecuted. Simply being there was not a crime, and yet some people seem to have been caught up in, criminal charges for doing very little, and that was wrong. Yeah. But others who committed destruction of property, who caused injury, they, were rightly prosecuted. And, that's sort of my general view of the whole thing.
Do you think that there are still large questions that have been left or maybe intentionally kept unanswered at this point? More information that we would need to know to understand the day?
Yeah, I mean, it was entirely preventable. And, Trump has stated, and it's backed up by those around him, that, he had requested the National Guard in advance and had tried to do so again that day, but was obstructed by Nancy Pelosi. And there is continuing and compelling evidence that she did just that. That, she wanted it to unfold as it did and stopped any effort to bring in the National Guard that day. So I think that needs to be looked at. She also rigged the J6 committee. And, everything that occurred before that committee happened in the bowels of the Capitol, where people really couldn't watch it. And, the Republicans, in name only, two of them were assigned to the committee not by the Republican leadership, but by Nancy Pelosi. And both of them were, Trump-hating Republicans. And so, that was a charade, and it was a shame. And they withheld vital evidence from the American people, exculpatory evidence. And I think that needs to be looked at as obstruction.
Gregg Jarrett, thank you for being with us. Happy New Year to you. We look forward to having you back very soon.
Thank you. You too, Annie. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye. January 6th, 5 years later. Are you okay?
It's a high holiday for the left, isn't it?
I'm surprised we don't have it off, honestly. All right, let's take a quick break. I want to talk a little bit about the SAVE Act today. The SAVE Act is something that has passed the House and the Senate. There are a lot of people demanding that the Senate take up the SAVE Act and vote for it. Among other things, it would require proof of citizenship to vote in all federal elections. When we come back, I'll give you a little more depth, detail on what the SAVE Act would do, and we can go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote as to whether or not you want the Senate to pass it. We'll be right back.
Nowhere.
Retirement advisory group, retirementkey.com. Have you been thinking about retiring and you're just a little unsure if you're ready to pull the trigger? You've had your money managed for decades now, but that ushering into no longer earning and starting to take from all the effort you've put into that savings, you need to know for 100% sure that you're going to be able to live in retirement the way you want to, and that your money is going to last for all of the fun, all of the relaxation, the traveling, the electric bills that you're going to need to fund when you don't have the money coming in anymore because you're not going to work anymore. Doesn't that sound lovely? The Retirement Advisory Group can sit down with you at no cost to you and no obligation to you and have a conversation about you and about how the Retirement Advisor Group can ensure that you are on your way to a worry-free retirement. Here's what you got to do. Call 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Tell them Annie sent you and schedule that appointment today. RetirementKey.com.
Imagine this, a summer evening, relaxing under a beautiful porch overhang, hosting your friends on a composite deck, or enjoying a bug-free breeze in a screened room. That sounds dreamy, right? Hi, it's Kim, and that dream can be your reality with Lakeside Renovation and Design because they specialize in creating outdoor spaces that make your backyard the go-to spot for family and friends. And with their attention to detail and the high-quality materials they use, you'll have a space that lasts for years. Visit lakesideRD.com today to get started on your outdoor oasis.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30-plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, should the Senate pass the SAVE Act, which would require proof of citizenship to vote in all federal elections? Doug says, anyone who votes no in today's poll is un-American and should immediately leave the country. All right, well, what do you think about today's YouTube live chat poll? And, of course, if you leave comments, we may feature them just like I did with Doug right there. You can also text your comments in 314-241-9797. It is 12:37. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
25 years strong. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Take this pink ribbon off my eyes. I'm exposed, and it's no big surprise. Don't you think I know exactly where I stand? This world is forcing me.
So let's talk a little bit about the SAVE Act, Doug. Un-American?
I'll speak on behalf of Doug.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Doug is the name, I think, of the dog in Up.
Yep, but it's D-U-G.
Doug.
And I love you.
Doug.
And yeah.
My kids walk around speaking in the cadence of Doug all the time.
I can't watch that movie.
Too sad?
Oh my gosh, just the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it's really good, though.
Hi, here's an old couple that's loved each other their entire lives. She dies.
Here's a montage
Yes!
about their love.
Yes, I need the squirrel. I need Doug the squirrel in there a little bit more. I wonder if Doug, I'd be curious to research this. This is not what the segment is about. But I wonder if Doug was added to add levity to a really heavy movie. When they made Frozen 2, they did a lot of screen tests, and they realized that it was too emotionally burdensome. Frozen 2. And so they put more Olaf.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, heavied up her. I don't know how many people of out there have watched Frozen 2 as many times as I have. Maybe none of you. But, like, the Samantha line where he... Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
No?
I don't think I've ever seen the movie.
Oh, I really loved it when it came out.
I don't know that I've seen all of Frozen 1.
We'll talk more about that later. Maybe.
2 o'clock hour.
Safeguard American Voter Eligibility. SAVE. SAVE. Safeguard American Voter Eligibility is a Republican-backed bill that amends the National Voter Registration Act of 1993 to require documentary proof of citizenship, U.S. citizenship, for registering to vote in federal elections. The House of Representatives passed it on April 10th, 2025, 220 to 208, with very limited bipartisan support. And as of January 26, it awaits consideration in the Senate, where it faces significant hurdles, including the need for 60 votes to overcome a potential filibuster. So yes, in the Senate, where tempers go too cool, and it's not a simple majority there, you have to get past that. Basically, the vote to vote. If the filibuster exists, they can not end the filibuster, but still not ever have to vote for or against legislation. Here are the key provisions. I am grokking this for brevity's sake. The key provisions of the SAVE Act, I'm going to list them, and then we can talk a little bit more in depth. Proof of citizenship requirement, including acceptable documents of your real ID, your U.S. passport, military ID, certain government-issued photo IDs that indicate your U.S. birthplace or citizenship, and specific tribal or naturalization documents. That's the first one, that proof of citizenship requirement. Voter roll maintenance, Illinois, looking at you. Federal agency cooperation, which requires heads of federal departments to promptly provide states with information to verify citizenship upon request. It also includes penalties and enforcement, criminal penalties for election officials who knowingly register non-citizens or applicants without proper proof. The SAVE Act also includes alternative processes, like states may develop processes for handling discrepancies, but the bill does not allow items like marriage certificates as standalone proof. Other notes that Grok highlights: the bill includes rules preserving provisional ballots and exemptions for certain overseas and military voters. It explicitly applies only to federal elections and builds on existing law prohibiting non-citizen voting. Basically, you have to prove that you're a United States citizen to vote, to register to vote.
That is a terrible, terrible law that should be stricken down.
Yeah?
Oh, gosh. Can you imagine how...
No.
Can you imagine what our voting system would look like? People would walk in to vote and go, I don't even have any ID at all. How can I vote? And then they would be disenfranchised. So clearly this should not pass because of that guy.
Let's make this a YouTube clip so that Ryan gets some mad hate.
Or love.
Or love. Actually, if it's on YouTube, it's just...
You never know.
It's just traffic for me.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just think to myself, we have to purify whose voice gets to direct our country. Anybody out there have a better idea? Because if you don't, the SAVE Act seems reasonable to me. You got a problem with it?
Well, I'm really trying to comedically come up with who that person is.
I would like you to stop
that's
because you're
so
going to confuse people.
Disenfranchised by having to have any form of ID that proves that they are who they are.
My 13-year-old went into the DMV and got a state ID, and it took 10 minutes.
Uh-huh. It's not even just a state. It's any form of ID. I mean, you just listed the many forms of ID you could have that aren't just a driver's license. So if for whatever reason you decide you just want to ride in self-driving cars and you don't want to have a driver's license.
Well, I'm not talking about a driver's license. I'm talking about a state-issued ID.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like, she's 13. She can't drive.
Okay.
She went, I wanted to get her TSA pre-check. And she has to have an identification. So we went to get her the state ID, and it was very simple. It might have cost $5. If you pass the SAVE Act, make them free. Make them taxpayer. Would it be, let's ask this question, would it be in the interest of the taxpayer to have a free, provided, government-issued identification card provided by the taxpayer and then require that provided government ID to be presented when it comes time to vote?
I mean, we kind of already have this with Social Security numbers. You can opt out of having a Social Security number if you want to.
You can?
Yeah, you can.
Why? How?
When they made Social Security numbers, they made it a law that you did not have to have one if you don't want to because people were afraid of being overburdened by identification. But, so if you're a citizen, you could feasibly not have a Social Security number. But my point is that the systems are already in place to have those things as identifiers.
Yeah, but non-citizens have social security numbers.
Yes, they do now.
So if you have take for instance, state IDs. So my 13-year-old daughter has a state ID. My now 16-year-old son had a state ID before he was 16. But the minor driver's license and state ID, they're vertical. So when you present that ID to buy your booze, if it's vertical, you better have that birth date listed very clearly on there saying that you turned 21 today. Mm-hmm. And so there's an obvious indication that here is an ID that is issued by, because there are people who could be here who could require IDs, but if you're a citizen, it looks like this. If you're not a citizen, the background of it is blue or red or whatever it is, and you can't present that to vote. I don't, if we're going to require, well, we don't require people to show up to vote. I was going to say, if we're going to require people, if we're going to provide the ask that says you got to show up to vote, you got to do something to vote. If you're going to mail in a ballot, or if you're going to get a ballot mailed to you, boo. But here we are. We have to participate in the system that's here and win in order to revise it. If you're going to participate in that system, it's not too much to ask John F. Kennedy what you can do for your country to say, please produce proof that you are a citizen here. That's not too big of an ask. It's just not. Because you have to be a citizen to vote, right? That's the law.
Yeah, well,
we're just
yes.
asking for proof. You air quotes can't vote if you're not a citizen unless you can get a Minnesotan to vouch for you.
As we're talking about it, it's so basic that it makes me mad that you have to create an argument for it. It's so obvious that should be the case.
Yeah, in arguing about it, you're like, you want to be like, just stop it.
This is just stupid.
Yes, duh, obviously. Well, vote in our poll, and we will not make you show identification. Why? Because this is the science. The Annie Fry Show. I need to get some sort of the science sponsor for the poll. Anybody out there want to sponsor the Annie Fry YouTube poll? Tell us, should the Senate pass the SAVE Act? The House has passed it. They passed it in April of 2025. Should the Senate step up and pass it as well? Go vote in the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Wiggins America, the top health workout trends of 2026. You know you've been waiting for Ryan's workout advice.
You want to look like me?
Yeah. Like I said, if you want to sponsor the Annie Fry YouTube channel, come see how good Ryan looks right now.
Yeah. Dude, oh, okay.
So,
I guess I'm solo on the screen
There's
now.
a lot of Navy happening. And look at those dance moves. We'll be right back. Don't go away. So the Lutheran Elementary School Association, remember last year when I let Ryan Wiggins cut my hair because we raised, how much did we raise? $20,000? It might have been less than that. I don't know. I don't know what our goal was. I think it was $15,000 or something. And we far surpassed it. That had a match. And the Annie Fry Show Lutheran School Scholarship is over $25,000 now. Wow. And it's an endowment. So it's going to continue to produce opportunity for kids all across the St. Louis bi-state region, which means when you are looking to send your child or your grandchild to a Lutheran school, and yes, there's going to be tuition involved. And let me just interject here. It's way more affordable than you're thinking it is. So if that's been hindering you from going to check out a Lutheran school, put that aside. There's financial assistance that is available. And I believe it's going to be, we're going to have a meeting Thursday to finalize details. At the end of January, we are going to work to raise even more money to keep the Annie Fry Show Scholarship growing. So if you've been thinking about supporting us in that, keep that in mind at the end of January. I would love to have your support. I need to have your support to help kids in our area access that amazing Lutheran education. Lisa, STL.org.
Hey, it's your main man, Jimmy Fallon, and I am headed your way. Saturday, January 24th at the Factory in Chesterfield. We are defunding the joke police. So grab your tickets at 971fmtalk.com/events, and I will see you in the loo.
Hey, it's Mark Cox. 2026 is here. A new year means new goals, fresh starts, and for many homeowners, it might be time for that big move. If you've been thinking about selling, this is the year to make it happen. I'm here with Gloria Liu from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria, what should home sellers know as we kick off the new year?
Thanks for having me. The start of a new year is always an exciting time, but it also means more sellers are jumping into the market. That adds competition, so timing and strategy matter. The good news is, my team has qualified buyers already looking for homes right now. Whether you need to sell quickly or maximize value, we'll create a plan that works for you. Plus, I guarantee to sell your home at your price and time frame, or I will buy it myself.
Start your new year strong with Gloria Liu and Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call 314-325-6888 or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. Make 2026 the year you move forward with confidence.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this: everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Wiggins!
Wiggins!
All right, I know that you want to get healthy in 2026 and that you were waiting until January 6th on the Annie Fry Show to do so.
And this is why we gave you 4 minutes to do this segment.
Oh, we're going to fly. And if by the end of it you don't feel healthier,
your heart rate should be up.
That's on you. These are a survey of nutrition trends of nutrition professionals and healthcare professionals of what they think the top trends and really what we should be focusing on for 2026. Number one is, surprise, surprise, GLP-1s.
I am a fan.
I mean, I know there are people that have reservations about them, but they have been on the market for a long time. They're trendy now.
A very long time.
But they've been on the market for a long time.
Different purposes.
Yes.
They had a side effect of helping people lose weight.
And they haven't shown a lot of other side effects as far as I've seen.
Yeah.
I've heard, anecdotal evidence of people saying they had a hard time with them here and there, so I'm not saying it's impossible. But that is the number one thing that healthcare professionals are saying is going to help Americans in 2026 is using things like Ozempic or Wegovy. Surprise, surprise. Number two, maybe a little bit more surprising because that one was pretty obvious, is an integration of AI with wearable technology. You into this kind of stuff, the watches and all that stuff?
I wear my smartwatch.
So you do?
Yeah. I look at my steps every day, throughout the day.
Wearable tech for dietary tracking and coaching was the second most voted for trend in 2026.
The really annoying coaching that it does is it's like, maybe you should stand up.
Is that's considered coaching? Is it reminds you of that stuff?
Mine tells me at least 8 times a day.
Like, you should consider motion. Move. Fatty.
Do you do it?
No. I mean, it happens the most of the time when I'm in here.
But does it become background noise where it happens so often that you're like, I don't even care about that anymore?
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
Gotta move.
All right.
But I mean, like, I'll stand up and I'll go to the bathroom and come back. It'll be like, great work. I'm like, well, thank you.
It'll say, mine does it by the hour. So it'll say, like, hit your stand goal or your walking goal for the hour. If you have to take at least this many steps or stand this amount. And usually, like, it'll, like, after, like, a minute or two of standing, it's like, good job. All right, well.
That's the way AI is
pretty dang low.
Way to keep those standards and expectations where they
Way to
belong.
not
When
suck.
you use AI, it's programmed to talk to you that way, though. Have you noticed that? I was looking over just random book covers for my new series that just like playing with AI. And I would put in, I go, no, I don't want it to look that way. I want it to look that way. And they'd say, you know what? You're right.
That's a great suggestion.
We're getting real close here. I feel good about this. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen people arguing with Grok about whatever, maybe sports stuff. And it'll always say that if someone brings the point. That's a great point.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, your mind's really on it. And you're like, it feels good. And you're like, I know this is fake, but it still feels good.
Isn't it interesting, though, that it's so obvious it's fake because we don't do that to each other?
Probably. Yeah.
I'm like, you freaking idiot, Ryan. Why would you think of that?
I was trying to get ChatGPT to draw me a layout of my bathroom that I was trying to renovate. And it got everything but this one little nook that I needed it to draw in there. And it was like, how about if I put it up in the corner instead? And I finally wrote in there, you were driving me absolutely crazy. And the response was like, that's right. You have a right to be frustrated.
Yeah, I know.
And it went through and it was apologetic. There's like a hostile mode you can put with some of these AI things, and you could like talk me into it. And I'm like, where do I go to turn on this feature? Because I'm hot right now. And I just didn't put the nook in there. I was like, forget it.
I like how it kept coaching me. I think we're only about 2-3% off here, guys. We're real close on this book cover. Like there's a team. Like we're all in it together.
Our party thinks that this is really close.
And I'd be like, no, you're using the same font over and over, even though I tell you not to. It's like, you know what? I just realized that you're right again. I'm like, wow, AI is great. How about some trends real quick of things that will not happen in 2026, according to healthcare professionals? Only 7% of experts chose increased focus on sustainable and ethical food sourcing. That's something you hear about all the time, and it's not really on anybody's radar. 5% shows greater adoption of plant-based and lab-grown meat alternatives. So nobody's a fan of that. And then only 5% chose hyper-personalized meal delivery services. Those are the things that you
know what?
Hear quite a bit about, but
I love that idea, and that kind of money does not exist in people's pockets right now.
Thank you.
That is such a luxury.
It is a nice idea.
Yes. I would love the opportunity to have that type of personalized meal prep for me. But I'm pretty sure that that's like for the Brad Pitts of the world right now.
Yeah, just give me a chef.
Yeah. I'll have my Greek yogurt and my protein shake and call it a day. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. When we meet our clients for the first time, they have built up a lifetime of savings. Their question is, what can we do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? First, we develop a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. Then we build your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money.
You've earned it, and it's our job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You will also get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 40 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people. but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. More than 1 million people are now part of healthcare sharing because it just makes so much sense, especially right now. And MediShare is the gold standard. Members like it a lot. We know this from member surveys. MediShare has been around for over 30 years. It is a proven thing. And if you join before January 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save $100 right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is January 15th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
You know, there's a certain way we do things around here, the Grasser way.
The Grasser way?
We don't cut corners and we don't take shortcuts. Not on the little stuff and not on the big stuff.
We do the big stuff.
That's right. Whole home generators that kick on the moment the grid gives up. Lights stay on, heat stays on, your family stays safe, so your house stays warm.
And your ice cream stays frozen.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Fox News. While no American service members were killed during the weekend capture of Nicolas Maduro, Venezuelan officials now say at least 24 of their security officers were killed. Venezuela's attorney general also claiming civilian deaths and pledging to investigate what he calls a war crime. This after officials in Cuba said some of their military and police working in Venezuela had died in the operation President Trump calls brilliant, though Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul tells Fox Business,
I think bombing another nation's capital and removing their president is an act of war.
The Senate could vote this week on a resolution to limit the use of military force without approval from Congress. Meantime, the president is teasing a meeting with oil companies.
The president told Republican lawmakers he intends to meet soon with major oil company leaders.
You know what that's about? We got a lot of oil to drill, which is going to bring down oil prices even further.
President Trump did not detail when he'd meet with oil companies, but in the days since Saturday's U.S. military raid to capture Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro on federal drug charges, President Trump and other senior administration officials have made clear a desire to reestablish U.S. oil production in the country.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. One U.S. senator making a move to stop any potential invasion of Greenland.
Senator Ruben Gallego telling people to wake up and, quote, Trump is telling us exactly what he wants to do. The Arizona Democrat says he's introducing a resolution to block President Trump from invading Greenland, as the president has expressed interest in taking control of the island for national defense reasons and natural resources.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz on Capitol Hill. There have also been statements issued by a bipartisan caucus in Congress and from European leaders warning against talk of annexing Greenland. Meantime, new highs again on Wall Street. The Dow is up 494 points. America is listening to Fox News.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Quiet times and rather mild times over the next couple of days. Mild for the middle of winter anyway. Partly cloudy skies this evening and overnight will drop back to 45 for the low. On Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, a nice 62 in the afternoon. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, 39. Wednesday, mostly sunny and 59. Clouds increase Wednesday night with periods of rain for Thursday into Thursday evening. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If your furnace breaks down, call Air Comfort Service for a $99 service call. And don't forget, if your furnace breaks, even on a holiday, Air Comfort Service offers 24/7 emergency service. AirComfortService.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
We have the highest stock market in the history of our country by far, every single month. That's another thing you should camp. You know, they like to demean that. You know what the Democrats, well, that doesn't mean anything. That's just, no. That means jobs and it means 401ks because a lot of people have 401ks. We have the
I was looking at my 401k yesterday. I can't remember which guest it was that we had on yesterday, but they were saying something like, look at the stock market. And I'm like, I think I will look at my little stock market here. It's been going much better than those Biden years, hasn't it? Well, let's talk to the man who knows all the details, Steve Moore, co-founder of the Committee for Prosperity, host of More Money. Steve, welcome back. Happy New Year to you. Thanks for being with us today.
Happy New Year. I missed you, Annie. So, by the way, I missed the first part of that. Was that Trump?
Yes, that was from.
What did he say?
He's talking about how good the stock market is going and how we're hitting records. He gave a number of how many times in 2025.
And then did he mention the 401ks or?
Yeah, he was just talking about how people need to be looking at their 401ks right now and seeing how good things are going.
Yeah, okay. Because the reason I ask about that is, at Unleash Prosperity, we released this big study, about 2 weeks ago about, the fact that the average 401k plan has seen about a $22,000 increase in its valuation after inflation, above inflation. So, that's I think maybe Trump saw our study, and that's why he's saying, look at the 401ks. And by the way, that under Biden, you know what happened to 401ks under Biden?
What was the number?
After inflation, they went down by about $20,000.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I mean,
because inflation was so high that the returns didn't keep up. That's what happens when you have 21% inflation over 4 years.
I really think about President Trump. Like, he didn't even spend the entirety of 2025 in office, just a little bit short of that, a little over 11 months. But he had done an enormous amount of good to getting everything back on track. But he had to dig himself out of a pretty deep hole. What's 2026 going to look like?
Good. It's going to be a blockbuster year. And I get frustrated with friends and colleagues and people I meet on the street. Affordability crisis. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, there is affordability crisis. Its name is Joe Biden. I mean, he created the affordability crisis. Trump inherited the affordability crisis from Biden when, remember, the first year in office, Biden had 9% inflation, the highest rate since Jimmy Carter. And so it takes a long time, Annie, to get prices back to stabilization levels, and we're getting close to that. The last report on inflation was very good, and now we move into 2026, and it's going to be a blockbuster year. People are going to get refunds on some of the tariffs are going to come down. People are going to get more money in their paycheck because less money is going to be withheld thanks to the big, beautiful tax bill. We're going to see gas prices continue to fall, in my opinion, so we might be down to less than $2.50 a gallon nationally. Right now, I think we're at $2.79. So, it's a good picture. It really is. And, I have to say, and I'm just saluting our troops and our servicemen and women for one of the most amazing military operations in 50 years. I mean, it's just incredible what they were able to accomplish. And what is going on with our friends on the left who are defending Maduro?
Well, you know the answer to that. Donald Trump did it, which means they're against it. It's really that simple, isn't it?
It's pretty amazing, though, isn't it, that the left hates Trump more than Maduro? Maduro was starved to death. Is starving to death his citizens.
An actual dictator.
People.
Yeah.
Yes. And I mean, in a brutal district at that, dictator at that. And so I just find it, that we had a little hotline cartoon. I hope your listeners get our hotline. It's just go to unleashprosperity.com and you get it for free. But, it showed Trump with like a magician a hat on his head and said, my next trick, I'm going to make liberals defend a narco-terrorist fascist dictator.
And it's an easy way to do it. Donald Trump supports it. We're speaking with Steve Moore. Sign up for that Unleash Prosperity hotline. I get it, and it's a great source of information based in facts, which I always appreciate. You mentioned tariffs. That was kind of one of the main stories of 2025. Here's a question. I know you're not a tariff guy, Steve Moore, but was for Donald Trump, are tariffs the goal, or is tariff a strategy?
Good question. I think maybe a little bit of both. Trump, when I've been in meetings with him, he always, I love tariffs. It's my favorite word.
Most beautiful word.
But he also is a very strategic guy. I mean, I have to say, the more time that I, around him, and that's, every now and then, the more convinced I am. He's like two moves on the chessboard ahead of everybody else. Yeah. He really is. So he was saying one time, gosh, I went over there and I saw the Japanese, and, the first thing I said to them was, we're going to have to put 100% tariff on you guys. No, please, well, don't do that to us. Okay, well, then give us A, B, C, D, E, and they just sign on a dotted line. And so he's a very shrewd negotiator, and he always puts America first, and that is a great quality of Trump. As you said, I don't always agree with Trump's moves, and I'm glad that he took out Maduro. No, I want to get out. I want to get out of Venezuela. I'm not a nation builder. I don't know about you, but I think that's a bad idea. Yes. But, but in terms of his stewardship of the economy, I think we could see as much as 4% growth in the economy after inflation, which would be gigantic. And when you get growth like that, because I know I hear from your listeners a lot, and they say, well, what about the debt? And I say, yeah, I'm concerned about the debt. I know you're concerned about the debt and the deficit. But if you keep growing the economy, guess what happens to tax revenues? They go up. Right. And more people working, businesses making more money, the government collects more. And so my point is, if you get 4% growth and you stay on that path, you start to really reduce the burden of the debt. And that's what Trump is trying to do.
Yeah, I think about, the part of the tariff strategy, if it is a strategy and not the goal, has been to onshore business and production and jobs. Yeah. And if you grow, I look back on really what I've seen in TV. I was born in the mid 80s, but looking at the Industrial Revolution and the pride that people took in work, in their job, and what they did, a lot of the, labor unions, the way that they would really champion skills and work. We have so incredibly lost that. Now we celebrate victimhood and handouts. That if he's successful, welfare, successful getting those jobs and production back, that would be economically incredibly beneficial for the country.
Yeah, and that's what Trump wants to do. And incidentally, I have to tell you, I'm sure you and your listeners have been following this story about what's happened with Tim Walz in Minnesota. And by the way, I mean, isn't it kind of makes my heart skip a beat when I think about, can you imagine if Tim Walz had been the vice president of the United States?
No, I don't even want to.
Who let fraud, the fraud is rampant in Minnesota. And he should not just resign. He should go to jail. Billions and billions of dollars, Annie, were stolen from taxpayers.
Anyway, he didn't know about it?
Do you think he didn't know about it?
He's a bad governor if he knew about it and if he didn't know about it. I don't think he can escape that one.
Point. But I guarantee you, he had, what was that expression in the 80s? Plausible deniability. He didn't want to know.
Yeah.
He didn't want to know what was going on in these daycare centers and with the food stamps and with the, the healthcare clinics that were just ripping off the federal taxpayers. Billions of dollars, folks, billions. Yeah. That's one with like 9 zeros. And, he finally had to resign in disgrace. But I think we should really look at criminal penalties against politicians who allow these. They're stealing. It would be like if I walk up to you on the street and had a gun in my hand and said, empty your purse, I want all your money. How's that different than when these fraudsters steal money through our tax code?
It's just government It's government organized, it seems. Last question before we let you go.
Exactly. It's organized crime, right?
Yes, exactly. Steve Moore speaking with us. You know I like to ask you about Illinois. The president said, in light of what was going on in Minnesota, he listed several states that he said the fraud is worse in those states. One of them was Illinois. You have hope for some of these other states where it might be worse than Minnesota?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that Illinois is on that list. And I would imagine, New Jersey and some of those blue states where, the Democratic governor is very clear about this. They want to see, I want to make sure your listeners understand this. They want as many people as possible to sign up for these programs because it brings federal money into their state. They regard the fraud as a way of stimulate the local economy.
Yeah. And we've seen the amount of money in the state of Illinois going to subsidize illegal immigrants with an invitation attached to it for them to come and use those services in the state of Illinois. It definitely does not serve the taxpayer at all.
Yeah.
Steve Moore, thank you for being with us today. We don't want to take up too much of your time.
It's a great, it's going to be a great year. You can hold me to that. That's my prediction for 2026.
That's a great
year for the economy.
Thank you so much. Take care. Happy New Year. Bye-bye. Co-founder of the Committee for Prosperity, that is Steve Moore, author of The Trump Economic Miracle. And I really am looking forward to what 2026 bears out, economically speaking. And also, I really feel like it's the scoreboard moment for the Trump administration when the buzzer's going to run out in November at the midterm election. If the president is going to be successful in the way that he says he's going to be successful with the economy, it's going to set in 2026, and Americans are going to recognize it because you recognize what's going on with your pocketbook. You can love a politician who's telling you that affordability is there and everything's great, and if you don't feel it in your pocketbook, you're not going to believe the politician. And what we've seen from this administration is essentially the idea of help is on the way, and not in the form of more government, not in the form of expanded, programs for you to borrow from, in eliminating fraud, in lowering your tax burden, and instigating prosperity within the free market. That's what we've seen from this administration. And if the president is right, and this is what he's been saying, 2026 is the year we're going to boom, and I'm looking forward to it. It's always great to have Steve Moore on the show with us. All right, quick break. Dustin Grage is going to be with us at 1:30, so 15 minutes from right now. He's a Minnesota-based columnist for Town Hall. He's going to give us the report exactly on that Minnesota fraud we were just talking with Steve Moore about. So stick around for that at 1:30. The YouTube poll, should the Senate pass the SAVE Act, which would require proof of citizenship to vote in all federal elections, yes or no? Go vote in the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. We'll be right back.
Get rich, I might get busted, but my heart keeps calling me backwards as I get on the 707.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. You can call 314-227-9636 and handle that basement issue that you have been mentally trying to forget about. But every time you go into your basement, you might even be avoiding going in your basement because it puts that pit in your stomach, knowing that that issue is there. And what you're really afraid of is what you don't know. Now, if you call an expert in, Matt Hayes, who owns Home Shield Foundation Repair and has decades of experience of solving problems and assessing problems exactly like yours, invite him to your home, take him to the basement, show him where the issue is, and find out what you're really dealing with. It might not be as bad as you thought. It might be imminent that it's going to be much worse than it is currently right now. You need an expert, and you need to stop putting it off here in 2026. 314-227-9636. Call 314-227-9636 and tell Matt Hayes that Annie Frey sent you. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Okay, we've got the chips, the fancy cheese, the sparkling cider. Oh, and I need to fill up the tank on the way home.
Look at the cart. We haven't even hit midnight yet, and you're already blowing your save money resolution for next year.
I'm not blowing it. I'm being smart. I'm using Upside.
Upside? That cash back app?
Exactly. I just claimed an offer, and just like that, I'm getting cash back on all these groceries. And I'll do the same at the gas station. It's how I earned an extra $250 this year.
Wait, $250?
Yep, that's extra cash I can cash out to my bank or throw onto gift cards to my favorite spots.
Download the free Upside app and start earning cash back now. Use promo code POP for a $10 bonus on your first grocery purchase. That's promo code POP. Make your resolution easy this year. Download the free Upside app today and use promo code POP for an extra $10 bonus on your first purchase.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
This holiday season, when you get them STIHL, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit STIHLUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from STIHL. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
There's this little rumor floating around that Trey Gowdy is going to take over Pam Bondi at AG.
I've seen that rumor.
I never know if these things get legs of their own. Like, you just need one person associated with the rumor that gets it put out there that everyone's like, oh, I heard. Just like me doing this right now. I don't know if that's a possibility at all. I do know that Trey Gowdy and Marco Rubio were great friends.
Okay.
Probably still are. And I could see how that connection would be good for the administration. People are super frustrated that Trey Gowdy didn't do more when he was at oversight that he was in charge of.
I don't remember.
Jason Chaffetz was part of that committee, and they were, looking into a lot of the Russia collusion stuff, and they wanted to see more from him. Trey Gowdy ran away from Washington, D.C. like he was running from a fire. But I look at, I've seen him speak in person at a Vitae Foundation event, and he made it to a stand at the speech. Obviously, is why he was hired to do it, whatever, for life. But I just really like Trey Gowdy. He's not, we have had Trey Gowdy on the show multiple times. When Trey Gowdy comes on the show, he acts like we're old friends.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm flattered.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you remember when he's like, Annie, the last time we talked? I'm like, it was 7 months.
Well,
did you Google it? That's so cool.
The last time he was here was not very long ago either. It was like within the last month.
Yeah, I think so. And, I know that there are a lot of people in the audience. They're probably in the YouTube chat right now going, Trey Gowdy is a blah, blah, blah. Gloria says Trey is, all caps, not a good choice. I'm not convinced because I think it's possible that Trey Gowdy was not as tough as he needed to be as a congressman, but attorney general, the top prosecutor, this guy knows how to win cases. And I feel like if you were fluent in prosecution and then you went into politics, I feel like it would be maddening to have to play the political game ahead of the prosecutorial game. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel
different
like
worlds.
Yeah, completely different worlds. Like, every time you hear somebody, James Comer's like, oh, we're going to send Tim Walz a subpoena. I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
I want it to be a big deal, but it never turns into a big deal. That's what everybody's saying. Nobody is being prosecuted. Nobody is going to jail. Trey Gowdy, to me, and I am open to the idea that people have criticisms about him because he didn't do enough. I don't know that he could have if he wanted to. I actually would prefer Trey Gowdy over Pam Bondi just because I think he is the Bulldog's bulldog.
Well, he's a much better media personality than Pam Bondi is, so he could carry the message better.
I'm not a Pam Bondi hater either.
No.
But Pam Bondi to me is, I'm like, if Trump says so. I'm putting my full trust. Marco Rubio, I don't need Donald Trump to be like, listen, guys, he's really actually great at what he does. I don't need to have that endorsement of Marco Rubio because I can see it with my own two eyes. Pam Bondi, I watch her and I don't feel it's her presentation, which might be completely unfair to Pam Bondi.
Well, that's part of that job, though.
That's fair.
And she's not good at it.
And listen, it's not a girl thing because I think Carolyn Levitt
and Harmy Dillon,
A+. Gray streak.
Oh, Tulsi
Gabbard. Sorry. I don't know why I'm still fresh. I said we wouldn't be on our A game until Thursday and it would crash and burn on Friday. Choose accordingly to when you listen. But Tulsi Gabbard, no problem there. There are a lot of women. Susie Wiles, I think she's stone cold. I love it about her. Pam Bondi, just the one person. I would say the same thing about Matt Gaetz. Totally different opposite ends of the spectrum, but the presentation Matt Gaetz would have brought to the attorney general position, which to me is like the weirdest. To me, it was like Donald Trump had a list and it was like, type A for Pam Bondi, type B for Ron DeSantis, type C for something else. And it was like D, other. And then someone was like, ooh, Matt Gaetz, that'd be fun. And he slipped his finger and hit D, and then it got out of control and they couldn't be like an auto pen kind of a situation that somebody else made. How did Matt Gaetz get nominated for the attorney general position when it was obvious that he was going out in a blaze of glory in Congress?
I don't know. That Matt Gaetz did an interview recently and confirmed, no, that was not some sort of game or accident or media play, that it was real, at least according to him.
To me, it felt like a way for him out of Congress that didn't look like he was booted.
Yeah, and that may be. The interesting thing, the way you started this segment, was talking about Trey Gowdy. I'll give you credit here. Whenever I listen to you interview him, he says things that are out of the box that surprise you.
It never sounds like he's even read the talking points.
Right. Which part of that surprises me and sort of inspires me a little bit, that if he were the attorney general, that maybe he would come at things very creatively. Because to me, that's what you need, is somebody who not only knows the law really well and can carry the message, but who can come at these things in a way that says, yeah, but have we thought about this? What about this law? We haven't really approached that yet. Have we done it this way? Doing things differently than it's always been done according to the law and within the bounds of law. Now, I think he's got that creativity. I don't know whether he has the boldness to understand the moment that we live in. That these things...
You're unsure if he has the boldness?
I'm unsure. I'm not saying that he doesn't. I'm saying I don't know.
I think that is what he has in spades. The boldness to do what needs to be done. I don't know that he is going to assess... let me start over. I think he's such a realist because you have to be in a courtroom. You have to know 100% where you're going to win a case. And you have to be sure of yourself. You've been listening to me say this as long as anybody sitting here. But there are going to be a lot of people who are never arrested because they are going to have distanced themselves. They're going to have too many layers between the crime and the high-profile people that they're not going to be the ones who are arrested. The orange jumpsuit, the perp walk, the handcuffs that everybody wants to see so bad, in some cases are not going to happen. Because if you can't prove it in court, if there's a statute of limitations, if those obstacles that are part of our legal system are, he's going to observe those, it's not going to be is he guilty? It's going to be, can I prove it in court? Can I win? Because you can't do it if you can't win.
Yeah.
And there have been, like, how much corruption has existed at the Department of Justice. You know, everyone wants to come back. Not everyone. There's a certain group of people who wants to keep coming back to the Epstein files. Shockingly, it was never a discussion point of the left until they thought that they could pin it on Trump. And almost amusingly, the only reason they continue to talk about it is because it seems like the only thing that they can pin on Trump. And it's the obscurity of it. There's no factual information that ties Donald Trump in a negative way to Jeffrey Epstein. It doesn't exist. But they want the illusion, the mystery around it. That's the talking point for him. Because, again, everything that has to do with going against Donald Trump, that's just what they're for. If Trey Gowdy were to become the prosecutor and to be presented with the opportunity to prosecute some of these people, I think he would go to town prosecuting people. But I bet you there would be a lot of people whose names, is it James Comey? Because Trey Gowdy and James Comey have gone rounds with each other. If it's not James Comey, there are going to be people associated with James Comey who aren't so fortunate as Comey is. And the thing about Trey Gowdy that I appreciate so much, which is also something that I think a lot of people dislike about him significantly, is I think he is so principled on the issues that the political party influence, he's so allergic to that he never wants to do anything because it's what a party wants him to do. It always, like, the root of the principle has to be the be-all, end-all for him to pursue something. And I think that outside of being a prosecutor in a courtroom, that the politics obviously has to influence those positions. But he's not the politician. He's the prosecutor. So he just thinks differently than we do. The emotions and the, kind of red shirt, blue shirt that all of us are fully engrossed in, he hates it. He despises it because he thinks that the truth should win the day. And that's not somebody who's cheering for an outcome. He's cheering for the truth to win the outcome. And that in a political realm, that's easy to poo-poo. Which is why I think that's like a cred to him.
Why the way you're describing it is a credit to him. And if that is 100% who he is, then that is a good thing.
And if Trey Gowdy comes out and says, this is what's going on, I believe him.
I do too. I give him that 100% of the time.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know. Trey Gowdy for AG, maybe that'll be a poll this week.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think I know how it's going to go with our audience.
No,
but
I would like to see that. That's
Yeah.
an interesting poll.
I think I'm in the minority there. But I'll stand by it because I, too, try to be principled when it's not terribly scary. When we come back, Dustin Grage is going to join us. I'm excited to talk to him. He's a Minnesota-based columnist. He writes for Town Hall, and he is at the forefront of being able to talk to us about all of this Minnesota fraud. I've got a ton of questions for him. Ryan, you're going to help me out with that as well. So let's talk to Dustin here on the Annie Fry Show. He's going to zoom in with us. You can watch it on the Annie Fry YouTube channel when you come to vote. Should the Senate pass the SAVE Act requiring proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections? Yes or no? Come hit us up with a vote. Say hi to Dustin. We'll be right back.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
It's time for you to get to know my friends at Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield, where luxury meets comfort. Mark Cox here. They have a great selection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, craft cocktails, anything you like to drink, cold beer, premium hand-rolled cigars from the finest makers in the world, even private lockers that are available if you choose to. Perfect for date nights or business meetings, and live music every Friday night. Family owned and operated. Check them out. In Chesterfield at the district, it's litstl.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter.
Oh, a nice new jingle there. All right, this is the time check. We're talking about the YouTube live chat poll. Should the Senate pass the SAVE Act, which would require proof of citizenship to vote in all federal elections? I feel like I know the way that this poll is going to go. Here's a couple comments. One from Jackie says, yes, why is this not done? Lori says, yes, they should. We need to make sure that everyone that's voting is a citizen. That's the question today. Vote in the YouTube live chat poll and let us know. It is 1:34. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
Still leading 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Somewhere there's speaking, it's already coming in. Oh, and it's rising at the back of your mind. You never could get it unless you were fed it.
Improving this state is being a parrot for Donald Trump, agreeing to everything that he agreed with. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. It ain't happening. I'm not going anywhere. And you can make all your requests for me to resign over my dead body. Will that happen? I will fight this thing till the very end to make this state better. And the question that I think they need to decide is when did the guy in the White House resign? When does he take accountability for what he did? Because it isn't going to happen here in terms of us shying away from making this.
What is Governor Tim? What is he talking about? Over my dead body, he says that he will resign. He's not going to do it. And so let's go to Minnesota. Dustin Grage joins us now, Minnesota-based columnist for Town Hall, a writer for Town Hall, and he gives political analysis and research, and he's here with us live today. Dustin, thank you for coming on the show with us. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. So let me talk to you a little bit about what's leading into Tim Walz pulling himself out of the election to become governor once again. He hasn't resigned yet, so he's going to finish his term. Is this a direct result of the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, where the Minnesota fraud in the system, in the Leering Center, the Quality Leering Center, the daycares across the state, among other things? Do you think that his resignation from running for re-election is a direct result of this fraud report?
I would say it's a direct result of the last year and a half, actually. So go back to the moment he became the vice presidential nominee with Kamala Harris, because if you go back to that time, Tim Walz's approval rating was at 53% in the state of Minnesota. Today, before the Nick Shirley report hit, by the way, 48% and 48% disapproval. So he is locked in the middle right now before everything really takes over with the Shirley stuff. Then from there, everyone's kind of familiar with the Leering Center and what has come of that, and knowing what was going to come even after that. Because even after Shirley kind of just broke open the Watergates after the Rufo report, people are familiar with that, led to Shirley. Now we're seeing 2,000 agents come to Minnesota this week to start enforcing not just immigration law, but going about and figuring out which of these businesses are fraudulent. And then Tim Walz, who has known about this fraud that's been occurring for the last 7 years, knows that there's going to be even more and more and more. And it's going to drag along because we're also going to have congressional hearings state representatives are actually going to be there at the Capitol tomorrow to talk about this, and the whistleblowers that have seen blowback from Tim Walz for trying to actually address this fraud. But he knows he's on the wrong side of history. And when he's at that 48% right now, and all of this is still to come, he knew he was done at this point. So rather than take accountability and actually go through and try to find the voters on this, he decides to step back. But get this, he is now trying to get Amy Klobuchar to run. And why is that, you ask? It's because Amy Klobuchar is the current U.S. senator. So if she were to win the governorship, vacate that seat, guess who she gets to appoint to the U.S. Senate without casting a single vote? Governor Tim Walz.
Gosh. I was going to say, he seems like he has nude pictures of somebody. Like, how did he get this far? It doesn't really make sense to me. We're speaking with Dustin.
Fake it till you make it. That is the definition of Tim Walz,
yes.
for sure.
Dustin Gregg speaking with us right now. He's a town hall columnist. He is in Minnesota. I live in Illinois, Dustin, so working here in St. Louis in a free state and go home to the People's Republic. But we were talking a little bit earlier, in the state of Illinois, we're so frustrated. There are so many people who are frustrated with the state government. You know about the fraud, the corruption, and all of this. You've been screaming it, and nobody's been listening for so long. And I'm wondering if there's a kinship to Minnesotans who have known about this for so much longer, and then Nick Shirley releases this report, it catches fire, and everybody knows about it now. Is this vindicating for folks like you, Dustin, who have probably been keenly aware of what's going on and how the state has been run?
Oh, absolutely. And this is why I said it goes back a year and a half at this point, because I had worked in by trade. I have been an operative. I'm recently more into the more reporting, analysis area, writing. But before that, I actually worked for all these statewide campaigns. I wrote the Oppo book on a lot of these candidates for Tim Walz, for Keith Ellison, so on and so forth. So I just simply had this information out there. And once Tim Walz, which I was 2 weeks ahead of the game, people thought I was crazy when I said, Tim Walz is going to be the nominee. I have a source who says he's going to be the nominee. People thought I was crazy. 2 weeks later, I wasn't so crazy. And then so I just dumped the Oppo book. And then this is kind of where it's come since, because these were reports that were just ignored by local Minnesota media. Vice versa. And I have a lot of friends, state representatives out there in Illinois as well. And they say the same thing. Or in Maryland or any of these blue states, they will bring up all of this Oppo on these candidates. But until they actually get outside of their insulated bubble, many people will never find out about this stuff. So that has been the gift. The moment he went national is when everything started to fall in his glass house. But yeah, that's been the story.
We're talking with Dustin Grace, Minnesota-based columnist for Town Hall, providing political analysis and research. Dustin, this is Ryan. I have a good friend who lives in Minneapolis, and when this story started to break, I just texted him. I said, hey, is this big local news? Are you guys really paying attention? Or are we just kind of, hearing it from outside and everybody's focusing on you guys, but you're not, that plugged into it? He said, well, I don't know. I pay attention mostly national news too. So he knew all about it. But I'm asking you, being in Minnesota, is this like water cooler discussion type stuff right now?
I would say so. Granted, I come from a little bit of a different background. My family's pretty well attuned to politics, but this was, kind of more of a surface level, known like, oh yeah, we know this fraud's happening. We've seen it reported on, and the cycle might last a couple days if it goes on a local newscast. But if you read the paper, you'll never hear about it, because the largest distributed paper here in the state of Minnesota is actually run and operated by a former Tim Walz commissioner. So like the amount of bureaucracy, not just in our government, in the institutional disadvantages Republicans have had there, but as well in media, because a lot of their operatives end up working the media in these local markets, and they completely take it over. So that's kind of been the story there. So like, did we know about it? Like, yes, but it's been more surface level stuff. It's never really been in depth. But now when I go to the grocery store, it is rare where I don't hear the word fraud whispered among people 2 to 3 times by the time I'm done grocery shopping. People are talking about it everywhere. That's been the anecdotal evidence. And while we haven't had a new poll since that 48-48 with Walz, I predict Tim probably did some internal polling since all this broke, and it did not look good. And quite frankly, if any of his friends were at the grocery store, they were letting him know that this is what people were talking about.
Yeah.
Dustin, right before we started talking to you, we were talking about, would there be arrests? Who's going to go down for this? Who's going to take the fall? And I saw, just this morning that there's resurfaced audio from the Attorney General there, Keith Ellison, that says that he's on record pledging to help move this stuff past. I'm just asking you, do you think we're actually going to see arrests of known names here?
There is a very real possibility of that. Now, I can't confirm those quite yet, but I have heard very reliable sources say out of the DC belt that there is substantial evidence on some individuals, of which the individuals, I don't know who they are, but I've heard that's a very real possibility. But at a minimum, they are currently going door to door right now, DHS and everyone in Minnesota, and they are going after the smaller fish right now in mass. So that is happening right now. Now, these bigger fish, I will just tell you that Minnesotans all around, and I'm hearing this from senators and reps in their constituency emails, they're like, oh, I'm going to ask for him to resign. They're like, no, we don't want resignations anymore. We want arrests. We want people in handcuffs. This is what people are asking for at this point. Because they believe it. And to be just completely honest, I would be shocked if not a single Democrat representative didn't know about this fraud, or at least wasn't involved at some point.
Yeah.
Because how can it stay hidden this long? And quite frankly, there have been, at least at the city council level in Minneapolis, Jamal Osman, who's the highest ranking Somali member on that council, he has actually been involved with this fraud directly. He hasn't been convicted or prosecuted yet on any of it, but his wife had a fraudulent shell nonprofit. Him and his wife ran a nonprofit, handed off to two other individuals, which went on to go commit millions of dollars in feeding our future fraud. So we have direct connections here.
Yeah.
Now, will they reach that point yet? That's still to be determined, but there are individuals caught up in this. The fraudsters are donating directly to their campaigns, so on and so forth. And you have to believe somebody knew something at some point. Now we just have to, like you said earlier in the last segment, we have to prove it and actually get handcuffs out.
Yeah. Dustin Gregg speaking with us right now, writing for Town Hall, as he indicated there, a former op. I would love to do opposition research. Was that super fun? Did you enjoy it?
It is fun.
Yeah.
I have found that it's not that different from reporting.
Yeah.
Or anything. Like, it's, hey, let's go back in the Wayfinder. Let's go find these old articles on these people. If it's just that you put it out there rather than you put out a press release or a memo or whatever to reporters. But a lot of the time, it's kind of frustrating. They don't actually use it or pick it up. So when you actually get to put it out there and people listen, it's a very different ballgame. And, it's a lot more fun this way.
Yeah.
'Cause you can actually do it yourself.
That does sound compelling. I think I would enjoy that greatly. I want to ask you before we let you go, and we really hope you'll come back because we know the story is growing.
Oh, yeah.
It's growing. It's not going away, and we love having you here. I want to ask you to impart on us what you would like to see other states do, because maybe Minnesota is going to be really the biggest crack in the ice where the ripple effects, other states, especially these states that are blue states, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier, like I don't think the people of the state of Illinois specifically are represented in their government, in their state government. And I'm wondering if you feel the same way, like in Minnesota. The government is not a reflection of the people of Minnesota. Those Democrat parties are corrupt, and they've got such a strong stranglehold that they're able to replicate a system that works for them, not for the people. How can other states look at what is being uncovered in Minnesota and has been for years, but now is a national story? How can other states replicate the research, the effort to try to expose that on their own state fronts?
No, I mean, that's a good question. And quite frankly, like I'll throw a little hat tip here at Elon. I mean, quite frankly, even if Tim Walz goes national, a lot of this stuff still really doesn't come out unless Elon Musk buys Twitter.
Oh, amen.
That is a lot of the reason. I mean, this is just simply me making an account, making some network connections, and dumping out the information I found. That's simply all that ended up happening. Then Fox would pick it up, radio stations like yours would pick it up, and then it became a whole thing. Independent media is so important, and then actually utilizing those resources at our disposal and get just the information out. I recently just did a short documentary on a autism center here in Minnesota, one of the larger ones. They're going to go bankrupt this upcoming week because Tim Walz put 90-day pause payments on all programs, whether they're fraudulent or not. So a business of 20 plus years is now going to go bankrupt and has been a staple for the autism community here. Nobody knew that was happening. I just put out a video. I produced a video, put it out there. Now it's going to be mass produced on Fox News here. I was just given permission that, now that autism center provider is going to go on Will Kane later today.
Ugh.
This is how it happens. Local, you're the guys who all know what's happening and how it's happening. Get that information, package it, and get it to the right people, and put it out there and post it on X and find someone that you can DM to share it. Information is as accessible as it has ever been. Just package it and get it out there, and it will pick up if it's good information.
Yeah, amen to that. And Dustin, that's why we want to have you back, specifically on this Minnesota story, because I think getting the report from someone like you after being so grassroots and on the ground there compared to the filter by the time it gets to the national media, it's a 2-minute little package that gets put together. We want the real story, and we want it from folks like you. Dustin, thank you for the time today. We hope you'll come back soon.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Dustin Gregg is a Minnesota-based columnist for Town Hall. He has spent many of his years working in opposition research, in reporting, in exposing truth to the American people. And to his point, I know we say it, but it can't ever be said enough. What Elon Musk, I was just thinking about this. He is, I think, the patriot of our time.
Certainly unexpectedly.
Imagine if Elon Musk was for the other side. I guess he'd be George Soros.
Yeah.
But isn't it weird how the George Soros of the world operates behind the scenes? Could Elon Musk be any more in front? I mean, he's tweeting at night with average Joes.
And he's the spokesperson for his companies. I mean, he's the face of Tesla and SpaceX and everything.
Yeah. Every time it comes up, it is well worth the acknowledgement. Thank you, Elon Musk. You've really given the country a chance for hope. Dustin Gregg, go follow him on X at GreggDustin, and you can go to dustingregg.com to learn more about what he's doing. Great to have him here. Thank you to Brad for setting that up with us. All right, let's take a quick break. A little more Annie Fry Show around the corner here, of course. Should the Senate pass the SAVE Act, go let us know what you think on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
To discover there's always something more you wish he'd say. He's everything you want.
Todd Sivia of Sivia Law. What a smart phone call it is to make. Sivia Law, hire Todd Sivia to plan your estate, your trust. Get it together. Get the process started. How about for free when you call 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL. One more time there, Annie. And talk to him about setting up a strategy session. And the reason why I say make that phone call now is because when you mention my name, Annie, you're going to get that strategy session fee waived. You're not going to have to pay it. It's a $300 savings just for calling right now, being one of the first 10 callers after I get done doing this spot and mentioning my name. That strategy session waived. 833-995-WILL in Illinois, in Missouri. He's got a bunch of locations across the bi-state region, so one near you for your convenience. I know he does Zoom meetings from time to time as well. So if you've been thinking about getting your affairs in order, establishing a will, making sure, oh my gosh, that those powers of attorney are established, you need somebody who knows how to do it and is going to work directly with you. That's Todd Sivia. 833-995-WILL, CiviaLaw.com.
2026 is an election year, and 97.1 FM Talk will be your home for every twist and turn in the 2026 midterms. 97.1 FM Talk. Keep it here for radio coverage that's 25 years strong.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, You can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
I do the same thing I told you that I never would. I told you I changed.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I really like talk. We need to talk to more people like that in 2026. One of the really great things about 97.1, what are we, 25?
25.
We're 25 years in. That's a really long time for a conservative talk station to be on the air.
Yeah.
Especially on FM. When this station was put on FM as a conservative talk station, the people behind that, wonderful people who took an opportunity at first, and it kind of like grew into itself. But Jeff and Jim and the whole team that put this together 20 years ago, I started working at 97.1 in 2009. It's wild to know that I came in February of 2009. Which means that Barack Obama had been inaugurated like a minute ago. So 8 years. It's so weird for me to think of this because that seems like an enormous amount of time, but I don't feel like it seems like a ton of time and no time at the same time. But 8 years of Barack Obama and watching the station exist through those 8 years. Donald Trump comes in. I will never forget. Like, I can smell the night. Like, it is tangible to me when Donald Trump won in 2016, because we realized as it was happening, wait a second, none of us really considered the fact that he could win this thing.
Oh, nobody did. Nobody did.
It was almost like you were going to a funeral in a sense, or you knew that it was imminent. You had this idea, you were about to resign yourself to the fact, okay, yes, obviously Hillary Clinton is going to be president, but you don't want to say that. And you wanted a hope you wanted a slice of hope. And we had it. And it helped that Donald Trump was wildly entertaining in his pursuit of the presidency. So, like, if you have a stiff up there, I don't know, like a Joe Biden, whose entire campaign in 2020 was be seen as little as possible, go to as few places as possible, because I'm not going to beat Donald Trump. I'm going to let Donald Trump beat himself in 2020. And maybe, I get by with a little help from my friends, but we don't know that for sure yet. That was the 2020 MO. And obviously now Joe Biden became the president. But in the course of all of this, 97.1 has been the Fox News radio affiliate here in St. Louis. Very proud to be in connection here with Fox News. It opens the door for us to get great guests to bring to you, people who are, prolific. You watch them on TV, of course. They're the ones who get to talk to the top guests. Having Brian Kilmeade on this station, I remember when Glenn Beck was replaced with Brian Kilmeade, and people were really mad about it. And now people love Brian Kilmeade. It's a very different show than Glenn Beck, of course. But thinking about the peak people who we've been able to talk to over the course of this, Elon Musk buying Twitter makes people like Dustin Grage the new big guest to get. And, maybe not everybody in the country knows his name, but he's really the impetus for the stories that end up driving the national news. Because local grassroots reporters now have a place that they can create a telling of a story that never would have been heard otherwise.
Oh, yeah. Suppressed fully. It really took the impetus off of celebrities, too. Did you notice that? Celebrities just aren't the influencers on Twitter.
Yeah. Like, why do you care what any of them think? You really don't. And now you don't even have to fake that you do. X's and Y's in the next hour. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code NEXT for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code NEXT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code NEXT.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy weight gain or issues in the bedroom? Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
When a parent struggles with addiction or dies from a drug overdose, what happens to their children? Far too many end up in foster care, unable to ever return to their birth homes because it's simply not safe. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is fighting the clock so that teens don't age out of foster care, leaving them at a higher risk of addiction and other negative outcomes that can happen to a child without the love and stability of a permanent family. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Here, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
We think there are just benefits that are going to continue to play out through the course of this next year for the American people.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune says the Republican bill passed last summer will kick in.
We think this year, when they start filing their tax returns, is going to be a good day for them because they're going to have a lot more money in their pocket than they would have if the Democrats had their way and we weren't able to get the tax cuts.
Also highlighting reforms, including Medicaid and food assistance changes that Democrats say will hurt Americans who rely on benefits. A fight over health care remains unresolved after Obamacare subsidies expired, with the president urging Republicans to figure it out ahead of this year's midterm elections.
President Trump says he'll meet with executives from 14 health insurance companies in a few days to push for lower premium prices, as he told Republicans in Congress to pass new health care legislation.
Let the money go in the health care account or however you do it. Let the money go directly to the people.
Congress stalled on competing plans to extend Affordable Care Act subsidies before they expired at the end of last year, creating higher costs for millions of Americans.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. A possible step toward peace in Ukraine with allies, including the U.S., agreeing to provide defense guarantees as part of a proposal to end Russia's invasion.
President Trump's mandate is that he wants a peace in Ukraine. And we are determined on his behalf to do everything possible to attain that peace.
U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff, after a meeting in Paris where the French president called the new security statement a significant step, the U.K. Prime Minister says allies would take part in U.S.-led monitoring and verification of any ceasefire. But it remains unclear what Russia will agree to. America is listening to Fox News.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! Whoa, these VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Quiet times and rather mild times over the next couple of days. Mild for the middle of winter anyway. Partly cloudy skies this evening and overnight will drop back to 45 for the low. On Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, a nice 62 in the afternoon. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, 39. Wednesday, mostly sunny and 59. Clouds increase Wednesday night with periods of rain for Thursday into Thursday evening. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Don't freeze as it gets colder. If your furnace isn't working, Air Comfort Service can get you back in your comfort zone fast with a service call for only $99. Get your furnace serviced. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Ryan, would you calm down?
I apologize. Not really sure what I was doing there.
You know, people like to know the behind the scenes of the show. There really isn't much behind the scenes.
The behind the scenes of that comment is we just came on and you said, Ryan, calm down. I was just sitting here.
I was going to say.
Like, what's happening?
A lot of times people ask me, like, is Ryan really like that?
Like what?
They don't
specify?
It's just known. And my answer is, yeah.
Well, except when you just make stuff up like you just did.
That's the behind the scenes that I'm going to bring on stage right now.
Okay.
Which is, I am always amazed at your ability to improv the most ridiculous things on cue. But what people don't always know is you have no idea it's coming. Like I could open up this segment talking about something incredibly serious about my life, and it could be heartfelt, or I could say something like that. But I don't know when I say, Ryan, would you just calm down? That might spurn a conversation that becomes Annie Fry Show lore.
Oh, yeah.
And you're making it up as it's happening.
I have no clue. That's the best part of the job. I'll do a lot of research and make sure I know about, the real topics, at least well enough to have the discussion. But I also know about a lot of crap. And I can bring that at any time.
There is a lot people when they ask about what goes on behind the scenes, whatever happens on the air is, I'll be generous, almost never pre-planned or prepared.
No.
The conversation, that is. We do a lot of research, as you say, but the conversation, there are a lot of times where we sit in the studio, we intentionally don't talk to each other because we want to have those conversations on the air with you.
Yeah. It also makes our friendship seem very strange because we don't ever talk outside of the radio.
We don't talk a ton.
Not a lot. I mean, a little bit, but not a ton.
I've thought about that before. Like, should there be more off-air conversation? And I'm like, I talk to you guys more. I'm sure, Ryan, you might be the person I talk to the most in my life.
Yeah, likewise.
I'm good. I don't need to.
Yeah, we're fine. Let's move on.
The extent of Ryan and I's relationship really is AI memes in our Twitter DMs. That's about it.
Yeah.
Or just insulting each other as we walk by each other.
Yeah, that does happen.
As a sign of affection.
Sometimes. Depends on the day.
So flu has entered my house.
Uh-oh.
Daughter.
The influenza virus?
B.
Oh, you know which number.
Did you know?
That's a letter.
C.
Did you know? It was C, but that was for control. Did you know that you can buy flu tests at Walgreens?
Didn't care.
You don't want to know if you have flu?
No.
Why?
Because I want to keep coming to work like a good soldier.
As a fellow soldier in
He's
the
laughing at
battle
the look
for
I gave him.
what? I would like you to know that you flew and keep that ish at home.
Well, good thing I don't ever get those tests. Then we never know.
Okay, I just would like to establish that because you don't test for it does not mean you don't in fact have it.
That is factually incorrect.
I don't know. You ever seen an ostrich?
Excuse me? Yeah, I mean, yes.
I think I know where he's going with this.
What?
He's going to say if you haven't seen one, you don't know if they exist.
No, that's not what I was going to
No,
say.
I've seen. I'd pick a more obscure animal.
No, they stick their head in the sand.
Oh.
You guys, they stick their head in the sand, and they think you can't see them. That's me and the flu.
Are you sticking your head in the flu right now?
You can go to Walgreens and buy a test, and it tests for COVID, flu A, and flu B. I did not know that. I thought we'd have to go to the doctor to get that. So we ran this morning. She woke up miserable, 102 fever. Because I wanted to tell her, she had a basketball game tonight. I wanted to tell her, suck that up, girl. Just go. You'll be fine. Use some tissues. Bring some antibacterial hand sanitizer. And they took her temperature, and it's 102 because she was miserable. And I'm like, God, well, what do we do now? Well, I know that if you take Tamiflu quickly enough, it can really not eliminate, but like really soften the blow. That's what I've been told. We have taken Tamiflu in our house before, and it has had that effect. So Jared runs to Walgreens. I'm like, I think you can I looked on Walgreens' website. I think you can get these there. So he went and got one. Come back, gave her the test. Flu B. I'm not really very happy about that. That was like we were on the side of time off of work and school. Like now we're back in it, but now we're back out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm praying that I don't get it.
I get that. Although there is a way around that. You don't do the test.
You ostrich.
No.
Yep.
If she would have tested negative for those things, the second that she, when is she fever free without the medicine? TikTok, 24 hours, you get back in there. I don't care if you've got some sniffles. As long as you're not going to be spreading flu or whatever else is out there to other people, tough it out. You don't.
Do you guys have the rules where if you don't go to school, you also can't do blank
Like the school
activities?
rules or fry rules?
Fry rules.
It's. I wouldn't say it's a hard and fast rule, but it's definitely a school rule.
We used to have, when the kids were younger, now we feel like they've gotten to the point where we can trust that they're not saying, oh, I don't feel good because I want to stay home from school. But we used to have a rule.
It's getting better? I thought the older that you got, the worse it
No,
was.
it's gotten better because, we just didn't know. When they were little, if you wanted to stay home and just, eat soup and ice cream and watch TV, we'd be like, well, we can't really incentivize that. So we had some rules like, oh, yes, you can watch a little bit. You can't watch much, and you're going to eat this and that to make sure that they weren't trying to stay home.
I've always thought the likelihood of faking it was more as they got older.
Well, I think that's probably true, but we've gotten past the stage where we think they're doing that. Now, maybe they would go back in it, but we haven't seen it.
No, maybe your kids are just better than mine.
Yeah, they might be.
Probably.
I am. Do you get, if somebody in your house is sick, do you just start to feel sick? Like I needed to go. I had to go find Trisha or Julia, and I'm like, do I have a fever? Because I'm starting to feel like it. And they both put their hand on my forehead, and they're like, and I think when you test somebody for fever, when you think that it might be the case, it's probably not a fever. You can tell when it's there. When you put your hand on someone who's got like that 101 whatever plus fever, it's like, oh yeah, you're burning up.
So you're saying that sometimes when your family gets sick, you also get sick out of pure compassion?
More fear than compassion. I don't know if I'm just being anxious about it. Here's a question. If I end up getting flu, do you want me to come in and do my job?
Ooh. Yes.
Ethan, do you?
No. I don't want
You just have to wear a mask.
Huh? Okay.
Not an N24 either. One of those just junk masks that didn't do anything.
I'll just wear a mask, but
Ones are
cut a
super
hole in it
thin
where
and
my
ripped.
mouth is, so I can play the tuba or whatever stupid stuff we did then.
I had a mask like that for flying once. That was
for flying.
You had to wear a mask.
Oh, like on the airplane.
On the airplane. Not for when I would be like, oh, I think I feel like taking off of my jetpack.
No, I was thinking like you were a pilot, which is quite a thought.
Back before I was here.
Did you ever get any serious like threats or anything or warnings about not wearing a mask?
No, but there was a guy next to me on a flight coming home from probably Florida it was somewhere else, where he was like, oh, I'm on a business trip and I hate, he flew all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so sick of it that he goes, I just hold these nuts and I just
What?
hold these peanuts in my hand.
Thank you.
Good save.
The whole flight. And so I just keep my mask below my chin. And anytime they come by, I'm just holding these peanuts.
Eat a nut. Trisha's going to come in with us for X's and Y's, speaking of. And so we're going to ask some boy-girl questions later. But if she's listening right now, I need to know, Trisha, text me. If I get flu, would it be better if I came in? Now, if I don't come in, who has to do more work?
Me.
Yeah.
That's why I want you to still come in. Tough it out.
Do you want me to be over here just like
Yeah.
snotting
Yeah.
and
Well, you just
sneezing?
did it, so you may as well do it for 3 hours.
Yeah, wasn't it
tomorrow.
gross?
No, it was fine. The audience just texted me.
Yeah.
They said it was fine.
314-241-9797. You can text Ryan and tell him if I am sick, whether or not I should come in or not.
Oh my gosh, overwhelmingly yes.
Oh gosh, yes, that
Coming
is
in on the text
also
line.
the science poll. What is protocol in 2025? We are 5 years removed from COVID. You were supposed to come in, come hell or high water, before COVID happened. And then, if you were somebody who coughed in public during COVID, how dare you cough in public? And Ryan, you would know this because as somebody with cystic fibrosis, you cough
I cough all the time.
as a
just
rule.
for fun.
Especially,
Pretty good at it too.
Mm-hmm. I've gotten very good at it. I'm a pro.
Are we back to? I think we're pretty close to it.
Back to what?
Toughing it out. Because people would not come into work for fear of
they had a
shame
sniffle.
from their
Yeah,
coworkers.
we're back to it, but not publicly. Nobody at your company would ever say it. Nobody would ever put that online anywhere. Like, nobody wants to be the person saying, just get over it, other than maybe Matt Walsh. he would say that about anything.
Everybody serves a purpose.
But I think that we are to a place where it's kind of like, well, how sick are you? But nobody would say it.
Why wouldn't you?
I would.
We
I'm
say
saying
about,
it right now.
We say it about you when you're not here.
That I should have gotten over it and come in.
Yeah. Except for you, is that not an autoimmune disease?
CF?
Yeah.
It's genetic. I mean, it definitely plays into lots of other things.
Yeah. Anytime you get a cold, we're all like, "Are you going to the hospital?"
I might be.
Yeah, and
You never know.
for sure. Like he needs to be.
Because that's the thing. I'm on
drip.
so many antibiotics
Yeah.
all the time that if something breaks through, I'm like, uh-oh, Iron Man's going down. This guy says from the text line, not sure. Oh, wait. He says, feeling under the weather, take 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar.
Oh, that's a chore.
1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and then 1 tablespoon of honey. It will kill any germs, and you will not get sick from this.
That sounds like how I clean my shower.
With honey?
I'll just lick it. The honey part was a turn.
You think the honey's there just to
Make
get
it go
rid
down?
of the other?
No, it coats your throat. And also
Yeah,
the
that's
honey,
true.
the natural, what is it that is in honey? There's like a
sugar.
Well, yes, but a natural source due to the bees and the pollinating and all that stuff.
Yeah, natural source
That
of
also is a direct quote from the science.
That is.
Sorry.
Ethan, did you know that one time I went and got Annie some honey for her birthday or Christmas? I don't remember which.
And she ate the whole bottle.
And I got it from a local hive. And they told me, "Oh, don't worry, just come out. We'll show you the hive, and you'll get some honey, and no bees will sting you." And I definitely got stung while I was there.
You got stung for Annie Fry?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow, I did.
It's a pretty good friend, Annie.
Trisha texted me back, and she said, "How much flu are we talking? How's your voice sound? Are you coherent?"
And?
That's when I asked her if I should come in if I'm sick. If I get flu
Those
from
are
my
good
daughter,
questions.
the question is not, did you test positive?
Are
It's
you coherent?
how positive?
Like
And-
you like 50% positive, 80% positive.
Paige, our friend Paige, texted and said, "Be How do you say this, Paige? Can you send it again phonetically?
B. Ryan got stung by a
Propolis?
B propolis?
B as in buzz. B, not like go do this. 2 E's. The thing that makes bee like honey good for you. Propolis. Propolis.
Oh.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Paige, dumb it down for the Annie Fright Show.
Propolis.
Specifically.
Yes. Propolis.
Propolis.
That's where
You were
pollen
pronouncing
comes
it
from.
wrong, and me and Ethan
Propolis.
didn't understand.
She sent it phonetically. Thank
Following
you.
now. Got it.
Propolis.
Okay.
Thank you, Paige.
Now we could start over and say it like we're smart people.
It's what the bees do because of the queen and the hive. They make honey.
And the stripes. Yellow and black.
Yellow and black. I mean, this is all part of the well-known.
I know
thing.
more about the
buzz.
arrest of Nicolas Maduro than I know about bee pollen. But thankfully, we have Paige, and I know she knows her stuff. She's a health nut. Sports and local with Ethan next. And X's and Y's at 2:30. Trisha's going to join us, probably sit across the room from me while I'm determining how much flu I may or may not have. I don't think I have it right now, but it's starting to get a little hot and cold in here. No? Yes?
No, it's just you, but you're fine.
I'm fine. I only had a little flu. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Oh, boy. Air Comfort Service. If your personal thermostat is off, I don't know what to do to help you. But if the one in your house is working not all the time, it's not reliable, or maybe the furnace is running all the time and it's just not getting warm in the house, you want Air Comfort Service. And all you got to do is call them at 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. You can hit them up online at aircomfortservice.com as well. They are reliable. I think that's really important to understand that as somebody who's talking to you about Air Comfort Service, that I am a multi-time customer of Air Comfort Service. If there is an HVAC issue in my house or in the house of anybody that I love that is looking for the right people to call, the answer is always go to Air Comfort Service. I've heard a lot of stories about Air Comfort Service showing up to help fix a job, and they see people who have done things to the HVAC system in the past, and boy, what a wreck it is. Make the right choice, the first choice. Air Comfort Service, 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. Call Air Comfort Service and tell them Annie sent you. Online at aircomfortservice.com.
The ACA Market Plan has just announced significant increases on their monthly premiums for 2026, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Gregg Hammond's Freedom of Choice plans now. You don't have to wait. One of their plans lets you use any doctor, has zero outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower than most Obamacare plans. Other options are full coverage PPOs with national networks, copays, and 100% annual preventative care. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Gregg, and they'll provide all available options. Call 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to GreggHammonds.com. That's GreggHammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hold up. Check it out. Sports and local.
And now, Ethan comments on the name of the segment.
Feel like I've been doing a better job of coming up with something to say or to go with, kind of to go along with it. Today I got nothing.
Okay, well then just do the news.
That's pretty defiant of him. Like, the only thing he had to do was comment on it. And
Yeah.
he's like, I'll pass.
Okay.
Sports and local.
This too shall pass.
I'm going to comment about how I was
Promise?
supposed to comment. It's basically what that wanted me to do.
Yeah.
When will
Thank
that
you,
be
Ryan.
now?
Soon.
Very soon.
By the way, I watched the Amazon Prime Spaceball, so not the made-for-TV one, with my kids. Do you know what that movie's rated?
No.
PG.
Is it?
It's got an F word in it.
Does it really?
What were you doing to us children?
That's amazing.
Yes.
There's scenes that I'll go back for, like from the Goonies we watched recently.
Yeah, you watched that with your kids?
That I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
The wiener scene?
I don't even remember
On the
now.
statue, where
I
they
just
put it
remember
on
there were
upside down.
certain scenes, like the bathroom scene with the guy getting shot up while he's sitting on the toilet and stuff, that I think were cut for TV. Scenes I'd never seen.
You don't even know it's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the movie version, and I was in the kitchen, and the TV's in the room right next to it. It's kind of open concept, and the kids are in there watching Spaceballs, and the F word hits. I go, what? Was that the F word? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, isn't this rated PG? And they checked, yeah, sure is. 80s.
PG for what, 1982 or whatever, 4?
A little later than that, I think. I don't know. Anyway, sports and local. Sorry.
You guys know me. I am going to find every opportunity that I can to talk about sports. The problem is that it's been a little bit slow the last couple of days here in the area. So today we're going to talk about Illinois State football and figure skating.
Yay! I love figure skating.
What about Illinois State football? They made it to the FCS National Championship, which is the FCS is the lower level of Division I college football. Still very good competition when it comes to college football.
Can a team that plays in the FCS, can they play in the FBS championship, or is it's completely separate?
Separate.
So it's not like being a D1 team that plays in the NIT.
Correct. Different. This is a different thing. The NIT is the teams. It could be any level of college basketball at the Division I level that is not good enough, did not make the NCAA tournament. Because football is so different in the level of talent
and physicality,
they split the Division I level into two classes. The FBS, which is, unless you make the college football playoff, you play in bowl games, and the FCS, where the top 24 teams make it to a big old tournament playoff. And Illinois State was not expected to go anywhere near the top or the end of this tournament, the end of the national championship, and they did. And the saddest part is they ended up one play away from winning the national championship. They took it to overtime against one of the top teams in the country, Montana State, and they even had the lead in overtime. They took a 34-28 lead, but the PAT got blocked. So all of a sudden you're like, they're in a tough spot. But things looked good. The second round of overtime, when they were up by 6, or I guess the second leg of the first part, Montana State, 4th and 10. And they're one play away from winning the national championship. And unfortunately, they had a 15, 20-yard touchdown pass on 4th and 10, and they made the PAT, and Montana State won the game 35-34. So a very exciting, dramatic FCS national championship last night. So congrats to Illinois State, semi-local. I mean, a couple hours away.
A lot of
on a
people
wonderful
listening
season
right now have somebody who went to Illinois State or maybe did themselves. So
yes.
When you said point after touchdown, I just was reminded that there was a movie called It's Pat in 1994 with Julia Sweeney.
And it was about football.
Not so much.
Should they make It's Pat in 2026?
Heck yes, they should. And it should still be Julia Sweeney doing the same character, just a little older.
Annie, any other thoughts on It's Pat?
I think she was already talking about that.
I know. I want to know if she has any other thoughts.
We'll talk about it in X's and Y's at
Perfect.
2:30. Have you seen It's Pat?
Me?
Yeah.
God, no. Of course I
Do you
haven't.
know what Pat, the
He
character
doesn't
from
know.
SNL was?
I know nothing.
Are you kidding me?
We'll show
Don't
him
act like you're
No,
surprised.
No. We'll show him a video in the break.
Okay. And maybe we'll lead in with X's and Y's with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The question is, never mind. The question is the question.
Yes, it is. The whole cover of that whole poster for It's Pat is just a question mark with Pat standing on it.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. You can't say that in 2026.
Told you guys Illinois State was coming. It came, and now it's figure skating time. Because the U.S. Figure Skating Championships are coming to downtown St. Louis. Ice skaters are eyeing a spot in the upcoming Olympics, which are taking place next month, and they'll have the opportunity to qualify. I believe that this is in part an Olympic qualifier, and so it's a huge week not only for everyone competing, but also for the area. It's said that there'll be roughly 5,000 visitors in St. Louis as a result of the figure skating championships. The economic impact expected to be around $20 million, with $14.5 million of direct spending just from these figure skating championships. So kind of cool to see an event like that come to St. Louis in preparation for the Olympics. A couple years ago, I think it may have been before the 2020 Olympics, the gymnastics world championships were here as a qualifier, and that ended up being a huge event here in St. Louis. So it is a constant that St. Louis packs out these kinds of events.
Ethan, who's your favorite figure skater of all time? Mine's Brian Boitano. You can't take that one.
Tanya Harding.
I'm trying to think of the ones that I know.
Nancy Kerrigan.
It would be those two. Those are the two that I know.
Brian Boitano and not Nancy Kerrigan? Or?
And no. Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan.
Oh, okay. What about favorite Olympic gymnast? Mine's Dominic Moceanu.
Gymnasts?
Gymnasts? Mine's the cricket. What about you? Gymnast cricket.
All
right, FCS football and figure skating. Are we good?
So figure skating, though, my favorite part of it, I just want to mention this as a native St. Louis, and they're coming here, is the relationships between the skaters.
Shut up. Annie, do you want me to talk about, I can talk about Mardi Gras. I can talk about the Alton Sinkhole. I can talk about St. Louisans that are making the U.S. Olympic hockey team.
Sinkhole.
Sinkhole, and we'll wrap it up.
Okay, sinkhole time. Well, we've talked about this kind of updated throughout the past, I don't know, it's probably been getting close to a year now that I've been doing the Sports and Locals. And I think I've updated this a couple of times, but the Alton sinkhole happened several years ago, and they still have not fixed it. But they are starting to finally work and get some progress going. They are currently on site this week, workers, officials, and they are beginning the exploratory phase by pumping out thousands of gallons of water from the sinkhole that spawned a year and a half ago into a nearby drain. Officials say the water must be removed before crews can examine what is happening beneath the surface at Gordon Moore Park in Alton, Illinois. Residents, meanwhile, are glad that the inconvenience of the sinkhole has been brought up and is being addressed finally. The testing, which will also reach depths of about 100 feet. The estimated cost and the lab work for this is $24,000. So I'm sure that is not money that Alton was planning on spending about a year and a half ago.
That sinkhole is pretty freaky.
$24,000 for a pool, though?
I don't know how many
not
people.
a bad price.
All right, I was wrapping it up. Ryan, why don't you take it from here?
I think that we will have a great segment for you next. It's called X's and Y's.
Man, he's coming after my job hard.
And I think that it'll be a good segment, though.
You just said that. It's the only thing you said. And I like that you're not confident enough to say it will be. You're considering the possibility.
I would imagine that there is a chance.
Who's our guest coming in?
Trisha.
And she is a?
Militia member.
Girl.
Oh.
She's a girl. She's one of the girls.
Oh.
All right, it's pad up for Ethan.
Okay,
We'll be right back. Don't go away.
I had something so good. These days get so long, and I got nothing to do. I've been hanging around this town on the corner. I've been bumming around this old town so long. I've been hanging around this town on the corner. I've been bumming around this.
Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com is the website. Have you reached out to Matt Hayes yet for the foundation issue you are incurring? I talk a lot about basements and the need to waterproof those basements, obviously. It's one of those things that kind of is like, gosh, that's a big deal. We need to fix it. It's going to cost an astronomical amount, kind of like Ryan and the flu. He's going to pretend he doesn't have that problem. But if you have the problem, it's going to get worse before it gets better. So you call an expert out like Matt Hayes, who can at least give you the information you need to know what kind of problem you're actually dealing with. Foundational concerns that you might have as well, potentially in a garage or a different type of building. If there is a crack in concrete and it's causing some sort of shifting of that concrete, it becomes unlevel, they can fix that issue too. There's a whole host of concerns that you might have about your foundation, and if you need it repaired, there's only one place to go. Home Shield Foundation Repair. Call Matt Hayes at 314-227-9636. That's 314-227-9636. Online at homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
What's up, world? It's Von Miller, Super Bowl MVP, chicken farmer, and now host of Free Range. This is a show where I go off the field and off the script. We're talking what's hot in music, film, trending news, and everything blowing up your feed. If you love football, you'll feel at home. But if you're here for the vibes, the internet deep dives, the conversation, this is your podcast. Join me every Wednesday. Follow and listen to Free Range with me, Von Miller, everywhere you get your podcast.
Okay, we've got the chips, the fancy cheese, the sparkling cider. Oh, and I need to fill up the tank on the way home.
Look at the cart. We haven't even hit midnight yet, and you're already blowing your save money resolution for next year.
I'm not blowing it. I'm being smart. I'm using Upside.
Upside? That cash back app?
Exactly. I just claimed an offer, and just like that, I'm getting cash back on all these groceries. And I'll do the same at the gas station. It's how I earned an extra $250 this year.
Wait, $250?
Yep, that's extra cash I can cash out to my bank or throw onto gift cards to my favorite spots.
Download the free Upside app and start earning cash back now. Use promo code POP for a $10 bonus on your first grocery purchase. That's promo code POP. Make your resolution easy this year. Download the free Upside app today and use promo code POP for an extra $10 bonus on your first purchase.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, should the Senate pass the SAVE Act, which would require proof of citizenship to vote in all federal elections, yes or no? Let us know, and we are monitoring the text line as well, 314-241-9797. It is 2:34 now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
From the gateway to the airwaves. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. X's and Y's.
Well, if you want to throw a question our way, you can text us at 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797, and we might throw it in here. Before the show is over, the YouTube live chat poll, should the Senate pass a SAVE Act, which would require proof of citizenship to vote in all federal elections? Go to the Any Fry YouTube channel to vote there. You can leave comments as well. Ryan, people are going to text you, but why don't you start it off with your question? This is X's and Y's, where we ask questions that basically are across genders. So we're going to ask questions that start with phrases like, why are women like that? What's your question?
Can men ever wear makeup socially? Is it ever acceptable?
This is a weird take, but I think that the socially acceptable makeup for women, Trisha, help me out here. Like, you shouldn't be wearing makeup that brings people's attention to your makeup. Like, a successful application of makeup should enhance who you are. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't take over who you are. So the amount, like, what the makeup I wear for the show, specifically for the YouTube, is more makeup than I would wear. Like, oftentimes I would leave here and go coach practice or something like that. I have wipes in my car and I take most of my makeup off for that.
I would consider that professional makeup, and men can wear professional makeup. Are you asking if, like, you can come in with makeup on tomorrow and it's...
I'd really recommend it. Maybe it's something you should try.
I'm asking if I came in with makeup, if you guys would make fun of me.
Are you doing it professionally for the stream, or are you doing it...
It's even better if he's...
Yes, I want to look like Clockwork Orange.
Yes, you're fine.
I actually think that if men wanted, I think, especially when I was younger, the amount of makeup I would put on would have to do with the clearness of my skin at any given time, like especially in high school. I kind of feel like men should be able to cover up.
That's kind of my next question.
A blemish, like if you wanted to.
If you had a zit.
But if you're doing that, it really shouldn't be obvious. If you do it correctly, it shouldn't be obvious that you're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because I think I probably, I haven't had a zit in a long time. But if I did, I think I would probably do something about it.
Ethan, you wear makeup.
I do?
No.
Just lipstick.
He's not he doesn't play the game like you do.
No, he doesn't.
Ethan's like, you're a
I'd
dirty
go
liar.
Along with it. I don't like the premise of that question.
Yeah.
Actually, the only time that I've really had to is when I have done the TV fill-ins a couple of times here in the last
a little powder
couple of years. Yeah, where you know
de-shine.
Mm-hmm. That was my first experience with it. So Hannah had to kind of help me along and teach me, which was
She give you a nice winged eye.
She did, actually.
Just one?
Just one.
That's like Clockwork Orange.
Just one. Clockwork Orange? Is that what that's like? Okay, I was wondering.
What do you think, Trisha? Should men...
I initially, when Ryan asked it, I thought, it's going to be weird when he walks in with it. But I think I might have changed my mind. If you want to wear makeup, wear makeup. If you wanna-
Eyeliner.
Yep, go for it.
Blush.
Yep.
LV commented, and I'm assuming that it's LV as a man, says, I use skin-colored zit medication. Does that count as makeup? I think that's how men get away with it being, like, it's just tinted.
Yeah, it's just medicine. It just looks like
It's like it's just tinted lip balm.
What about painted fingernails off of that?
No.
Interesting. This is a trendy thing.
Yes.
And it's not just like.
Are there baseball bros painting their nails? I mean, not catchers.
Yeah. I know several people that would consider themselves, masculine guys that now paint their fingernails.
Why?
What color?
It's not like usually pink. I've seen black mostly, but it's something I've seen. I don't know. I haven't asked.
So they're doing it purely for cosmetic reasons, though.
I would assume
just
so.
to look cool.
I would assume so. Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
I don't
as
like
a
it.
Man?
I don't like it.
Annie, as a woman?
I'm never gonna waste my energy worrying about anybody else's nails.
You're not?
I'm not looking for a partner. If Jared came home and started painting his nails, we'd have to talk about that.
What would that conversation be? Play that out.
Dude. That would be it. Although, I will say, he has the nicest man nails. I get mad at them.
It's not where I thought this was going.
Where?
I don't know where I thought it was going. I just didn't expect
No,
this.
he has the nicest nails, and he works with his hands. They shouldn't be that nice. I'm really mad at him. They
Does he spend
probably
a lot
should
of
be
time
painted.
on them?
No, that's what makes me more mad.
Could be a hand model.
I say that to him, and that's what
It's like Zoolander.
Jason Alexander and what's his name? George. Yeah, isn't there an episode about that?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got a question for the room, X's and Y's here. When you're at the drive-thru with your spouse, who does the ordering? So you're both sitting in the front seats. Is it always the person who's in the driver's seat? Is it always the man? Is it always the woman? You got a car full of people or whatever. You're at least ordering for the two of you, maybe the whole carload of you. Who orders at the drive-thru?
Always the person in the driver's seat. And it's unspoken. We've never really discussed it.
Do you have do the men drive in your house?
You know what?
Ryan?
That's yes, mostly, but that's not always true. I'm picturing a time when I went through a drive-through like Starbucks or something and I wasn't getting anything. And instead of asking
just sit
her,
back
what
and-
do you want? Yep, I just go, you. And she does it.
Does she ever whisper to you, which by the way, the drive-through people can hear.
Yes.
Does she ever whisper and you just say whatever she says, like Ron Burgundy into the drive-through?
Yep.
When you're ordering a foo-foo latte or something like that, do you feel like less of a man?
Yep. That's why I say, this is for my wife.
Yeah. You say it with like great disdain, so they know this is not for me.
It's not me.
You
if
take
I ever have
the
to go to
drink
the
from
store
the barista
to get
with your painted fingernails.
no.
No?
If you ever have to go to the store, this is probably another question, but to get something for your wife that's,
Tampons?
yeah. Do you ever have to do that?
Wait, don't scoop my question yet, but that could be the next one.
Okay.
Trisha, who orders in your car at the drive-thru?
Usually the driver, but if one of us does it more, it's me.
There aren't times where you're sitting in the driver's seat and Mr. Trisha is leaning over like, I'll take it.
No. Even at restaurants, if one of us is going to do the ordering for the other person, it's me.
That was going to be a follow-up question if it's different at a restaurant table. Ethan, what about you guys?
Yeah, most of the time it's driver. The only time that would get overridden would be if the order of the person in the passenger seat or the back seat, the order is too complex to where I'm like, you know what? I don't want to handle it. I'm going to give it off to you because I don't want to screw it up or sound stupid.
No onions.
Yeah.
What'd you
I said my brain can't handle no onions.
Too much.
Cross the line. For us, if the whole family is there, Jared has a better handle on who eats what at what restaurants or whatever. So I usually I really let him. But I don't ever drive if Jared's in the car. I have no interest in driving if I don't have to. So in our house, the man drives. And he would not enjoy riding shotgun while I'm driving.
I don't usually like it.
He would feel, and if he were here, he'd probably admit to feeling a little emasculated by being driven around by his wife, which is never been a problem because I'm like, chauffeur me around, man. I appreciate it. I like that he likes to do that. And at restaurants, I often let him order. He doesn't necessarily pick things for me, but he'll order for the table. Tampons?
I don't order those. I'll order like a bloomin' onion.
I don't know if that's going to work. It's real greasy. It does expand.
That's what I go into Walmart. I'm like, you guys get any of those, bloomin' onions?
And they're like, yeah, right here.
The big ones?
I had a brilliant idea for feminine products campaign and marketing and product, like everything. If you're out there in your Tampax, what you need to do is you need to have a marketing campaign, and I would center it around Super Bowl, where you create white boxes that have like a blue circle on it. And the whole campaign is women asking their men to go pick up their tampons. And you're like, you look at your man and you're like, white box, blue circle, go get it. And you send the man in there. And then, of course, you have an instance where, because you want the box to be discreet so men feel comfortable doing an incredibly nice and generous thing for their female in their life.
Least amount of time as possible.
Yes, but you're not walking around with a box that has tampons written all over it. It's super discreet. But you make something like super simple, super basic, so that men can go get the thing and not have to look at all the options and try to figure out, like, well, I'm not going to get in the details of the options, but red square.
That's fine, but then you can't advertise it. Because then once you advertise it, everybody knows what it is.
Well, the point is to sell products, not to make men feel good. Because I think a man should be able to walk into a store and buy a pack of tampons and walk to the counter and be okay with people knowing that this is 95% positive for this man's wife.
That's why I voted for Tim Walz.
There's a little 5% question in there.
Do you ever send your husband?
He'll buy them for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll buy them for the house.
Is there an age, Ryan? This probably isn't applicable to you, Ethan, but is there an age where it got less weird for you?
Yeah.
After you've had kids, it's got to be less weird.
Yeah, there comes a point where you're just like, I just don't care anymore. Although even when I check out, if it's a self-checkout, it's no big deal. But if there's somebody checking you out, I still feel like...
You mean like cashier?
Yeah. Cashier.
Or like hot chick.
Checking you out. Still got to be like, I don't use these.
Wife was busy, just thought I'd be a good husband.
What a
and
weird thing to
pick 'em
say.
up for
Ethan, are you
anatomically speaking
comfortable picking those up for the lady at Russell's advice to Joe? Carry that box, no strings attached. What do you think, Ethan?
I have never had to, but
You've never done it?
Mm-mm.
Really?
You have sisters? It's never been a...
I have never once, I think, had to go and pick them up.
Will Mr. Trisha do it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He'll do it now.
If you tell him you need X, Y, and Z, does he know which thing to get for you?
Yeah, I don't even think... I think the last time he went, I don't even think he asked. I think he was just like, yeah, I got it. It's fine.
Yeah. Like
white box, blue circle.
That's what I'm saying for like the newbies like you, Ethan. Would you, if she said to you, hey, I need you to pick some tampons up on the way home from work?
I'd probably giggle.
The whole time you're walking around.
No, just at like first request.
Would you say yes?
Yeah, of course I'd say yes. And then she'd probably get a call when I got there asking, where the hell am I supposed to go?
And you would just take her guidance, and then what would you, like, how would you transport the tampon box from the shelf?
Probably
to
shove
the
them in
cashier?
my pants.
That's probably going to look like you're stealing them.
Why would you do that? The boxes are not small. You'd see it.
Okay, fine. Alternate answer.
You
I
pass
would
another
yell,
guy
these
with
are for my wife!
Big box of tampons in his pants.
You just put them in your pants and yell that.
Would you feel compelled to hide them, Ethan? Honestly.
He said he would for sure.
Would you really feel compelled to hide it?
I don't think so.
Would you buy like 6 other things to cover it up?
I'm pretty secure in my masculinity to where I would not be worried about what strangers at the store thought of me carrying a box of tampons. Maybe though, maybe I carried in my left hand. That's where my ring is, so people know. People, they see the tampon, they see the ring. It's for the wife.
Joe says on YouTube Live, the best part of picking up tampons from the store is the second item you decide to buy at checkout. So
Yeah.
you're not putting enough there by itself.
That's true.
Just like the king-size Snickers.
King-size Snickers and some swimming trunks. You're like, yeah, this was a successful trip. I don't know.
Why do you get those from the checkout area?
You're not picking. That's not an impulse buy. I'm just saying you're trying to round it out.
Dash says,
you're like, I'm picking up several things for several people.
Leave her on speakerphone while picking them out. You'd be like, okay, we're going to the checkout. Talk loud.
Talk loud to the cashier.
Give me the supers.
Honey, tell him you need your tampons.
Deluxe version. I need the big ones. Maybe. You said this was going to be a good segment.
No, I didn't.
You said it might be.
I did.
You did.
Over and over, I said it might.
All right. More X's and Y's when we come back, plus the results of the YouTube poll. Should the Senate pass the SAVE Act? We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Oh, baby, I did it again. I made it your heart.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan are a phone call, even a text message away. And when I give you this number, it goes directly to Stewie. So this doesn't go to his office. It goes to his cell phone, 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. You call Stewie and talk to him about your mortgage situation. Getting a new home? You're going to need a new mortgage. Why would you not make this phone call, send this text message to see how Stewie can work for you? If you've been recommended someone else, totally fine. See what they can do, but don't forget to compare it to how Stewie and the Bagel Loan can help you. Why pick the Bagel Loan? Obviously, $0 in closing costs. This is thousands of dollars that stay in your pocket at closing of your new mortgage, even your mortgage refinance. Don't spend that money if you don't have to. If you want to learn more about how a Bagel Loan can help you, call or text 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan. Every time Ethan gives me the 10 seconds, it looks like he's riding a roller coaster. And I can't stop it.
Say the NMLS number.
I'm so sad that it's not on camera.
You're right at the end. I guess by nature it would be the 10 seconds.
I was trying so hard to get through it. Call or text too. Yeah, it looks just like that. 314-324-40. I have to say the NMLS number.
I'm not even going to hold on.
Google the
NMLS number.
NMLS number 226715.
Hey, it's your main man, Jimmy Fallon, and I am headed your way. Saturday, January 24th at the Factory in Chesterfield. We are defunding the joke police. So grab your tickets at 971fmtalk.com/events, and I will see you in the loo.
Hi, Chad Hansen from Hansen's Tree Service. Much like the human body, trees require a specific combination of nutrients to thrive. Our certified arborists can come to your property and prescribe the ideal treatment to ensure your trees and plants thrive this coming season. Check us out today at hansenstree.com and take advantage of our winter savings.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com. Want immediate cash for your home or see what your home is really worth in today's market? Find out for free from the local experts, my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. Check out thegelmanteam.com today. That's thegelmanteam.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, a minor continuation from X's and Y's, a follow-up from Mr. Fry, who's listening because he had to get the second half of his day to spend with the flu patient at home. And Mr. Fry messaged me. He says, you have no interest in driving, just telling me how to drive or making sure I do it correctly.
That's
real.
real.
Slam.
That is real.
Okay, so that's the question. Ladies, do you side seat drive? If you're driving, Trisha, does he side seat drive? And men, I want to know about your relationships too. Which one are you? Are you a good side seat driver or a bad side? I'm a terrible side seat driver.
I side seat drive in a bad way. It's real annoying, but he does not.
What
But
kind
he
of-
lets me drive.
So he's chill when you drive?
Yes.
And how much does he drive when you're both in the car?
Most of the time, but not all the time. I'll do it.
But you're a bad side seat driver?
Yeah, terrible.
How does that manifest itself?
You pointed this out a while back. It's that we're not paying attention like they are while they're driving, and then we look up and we're like, ah! And I
so
do that
it'd be
a
scary
lot.
if you were driving paying as little attention as you were riding.
Yes.
Do you do this a lot?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My wife does that once in a while.
I do that. They're stopping. They're stopping. They're stopping. You guys do that?
Yes.
It's
like-
so tough.
Do you ever ride?
Well, I mean,
when
if
your wife is driving?
Yeah,
I mean,
once in a while, if she's picking me up from somewhere and she's already driving, I'll just jump in the front
Is
seat.
that very rare?
That's about it. Yeah, if we're ever getting in the car together, I'm always driving.
Is it a known annoyance how she side seat drives you? Is this a kind of a recurring conversation with some frequency in your relationship?
The thing you just mentioned, Trisha, I think is universal because every wife, every girlfriend does that, and it's always that way. So I don't think that's not a conversation we have that I think we have to have with each other. It's like, yes, you're a girl. I'm the guy. You do that.
So you think that she does that because she's a woman?
Yeah, I think that's what girls do when they sit in the passenger seat.
Panic?
He might not be wrong. My husband doesn't do it.
See? And then the only thing that I think is particular to her and I is she and I. Is
I'm
that
side seat driving right now.
It's a girl thing.
Sorry, that's from my dad though. That's it.
she is a very impatient driver. So she is always thinking, well, why aren't you going faster? And she doesn't want to say it.
She wants more.
But she wants you to go faster. She
Trish
wants
and
you
I
to
are
get
like,
there.
put on the brakes. And she's like, step on the gas.
Yeah, she is.
I kind of do both. I'm kind of like, why are we going so slow? Also, you better stop right now.
Ethan, is it an issue?
Yeah, but it feels like it's only an issue when I'm like in a bad mood because then I'm like, I got it. Otherwise, it's
Do you
it's
clap
like
back?
whatever. Yeah, when I'm in a bad mood.
With words?
Yes.
How do you clap back, Ryan? Do you ever? Jared
In the car?
Jared won't
Backhand?
ever say anything. It's like the big puffy cheek exhale. Oh, we got
Smart man.
Poll results. Ethan, you want to hit us with those real quick?
261 votes. 98% of people believe that the Senate should pass the SAVE Act.
Well, we save it. Get on it, Senate. Keep it right here. Mark Reardon, next.
'Cause I don't want to be nobody else. I like the
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Ethos.
Don't forget your finances when you make your list of New Year's resolutions. Sherry Greco-Rikis of EP Wealth says the first thing you can do is resolve to save more.
Put a little away. It doesn't matter the amount at first. It's just the action of starting to save.
Or you can get your family to focus on a financial goal.
Maybe a special trip. Maybe a new car. Maybe you want to renovate your home.
I'm Rob Hart.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
At Grasser Home Services, we're looking for happy plumbers to join our team. Plumbers who are polite, honest, and do the job right.
And love dogs. They must love dogs.
Plumbers who treat customers' homes with respect, care about the details, and show up on time.
Know a happy plumber who's great with dogs?
Have them call Grasser Home Services.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.